Hey everybody, my name is Amy. I'm a Blu-ray, Golden Ray, templated twin union. I am all four clairs: clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and claircognizance. I'm sorry. I channel ETs and other things, other spirits, specifically the good ones. And I'm very good at astral projection and astral travel. I have a lot of experience and knowledge I've gained from astral projecting. I kind of wanted to make this video because I had planned it. I had pre-recorded one, and my computer had shut off and I lost it. I had to wait a good week or so for a replacement charger because my charger broke on me, and so I had to delay this video. Oh, well, the video that I had already recorded, but it's gone now, so I'm having to redo it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just redo it. Okay, so in the last video that I was gonna post for you guys, I wanted to go over some very important topics that should activate a lot of you. A lot of you should have a lot of aha moments. I know the readings that I did for some people, I had a lot of people coming forth having several questions that were the same, kind of similar. So I wanted to make just one video and just explain it all in one. So, but if y'all have any more questions, just let me know. I can probably figure it out for you. Because I do channel and I do get information a lot of the time channeling. So, okay, so I want to start with how humans have come to be as we are, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there who are still trying to use the religious stuff out there and creation of mankind and God. I'm not saying that there's not a God. I know there's a God source energy, and I'm obviously a part of that because I'm a twin flame union, so there's a Holy Trinity associated with that. But as far as the human body and us being here, let me just go over the very beginning, since the very beginning of time, okay? Okay, so the Anunnaki and the Sumerian tablets. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so, according to Sumerian tablets, which are prehistoric man, or before they were prehistoric man, or, for example, primates, right? Prehistoric man. The first civilization was the Sumerians, right? And they recorded certain things in their writings and tablets. And there's something called the Sumerian tablets, and it goes over topics such as the creation of mankind. And this predates the Bible. We actually have the artifacts of the Sumerian tablets, and we have archaeologists that are able to chronologically figure out which came first, and it was the Sumerian tablets. So Sumerian tablets were here, were discovered, were in existence and written way before the Bible was even written and found. So everything that you've learned right now is going to change, okay? Especially if you're still following the religious dogma, the religious teachings, and the Bible. I'm just going to go ahead and just myth bust it, I guess you could say, because it's got some stories in there that are in the Sumerian tablets, but they've been twisted. So you will be surprised if you do some research into Sumerian tablets. You will see why the Bible looks like something that was a sham, something that was, man-made and created and altered. It's like an altered version of the Sumerian tablets. But what the Bible doesn't include is the creation of mankind, the real story. There is no Adam and Eve, okay? I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. Alright, this is why I'm going to tell you that, because it's in the Sumerian tablets, it goes over how the first humans were made, okay? Okay, so the Anunnaki they're an advanced civilization of ETs that originated from Nibiru, sorry. And they came here to Earth looking for gold. Okay? They needed gold because their planet's ozone layer was deteriorating. Okay? And an element or material such as gold is, if you think about it scientifically, way back then, they didn't have any scientists. So how could they possibly have known any of the properties of gold, right? Well, the Anunnaki, which are the extraterrestrial civilization that came to Earth in their spaceships, I know a lot of people refer to them as the fallen ones. Okay, in the Sumerian tablets, the reason why people think they're fallen angels is because the way that Sumerian tablets have relayed them in their language. Anunnaki means literally fallen from the sky or descendant from the sky. And if you really think about that, we have ETs that have advanced spacecraft, advanced, machines, right? They have advanced aircrafts and machinery. They have advanced technology. I mean, they can descend from the sky, This is why I don't really believe in fallen angels, okay? I'm an angel myself, okay? I know I'm an earth angel. I'm an archangel incarnated, okay? I would know if we have fallen angels, okay? There's no such thing as fallen angels, and this whole religious dogma about fallen angels and its relation to the Anunnaki is just like, it's obvious. I mean, it was translated as fallen ones, or the ones descended from the heavens, come down. It literally means come down from heaven. The word Anunnaki means come down from heaven. And how did they do that? They come down with their spaceships, right? For prehistoric man to relay that or to understand that, they obviously at that point where they didn't have any type of technology whatsoever or science. I mean, they're going to try to relate that in their writings as best possible. So, in the Sumerian tablets, the Sumerians actually communicated into these tablets that the Anunnaki genetically engineered humans. They used prehistoric man, which was like primates, and then they fused their own DNA with it. They have technology like that. It's called the hybrid program, the hybridization program. That's what it is. And a lot of ETs are all over the planet are taking people. So you got people getting abducted at the higher level. Their soul, before they're incarnated, obviously they don't remember. They have like a wave of amnesia, so they don't know that they kind of signed up for it at the soul level. So none of this like happens for no reason. It doesn't happen for no, behind the will. And I'm going to go into later about some of the ET races that have done some of this stuff. And I mean, while there is some things that are going on that are probably not too great for humans, I'm going to go into that too. But we'll wait on that. Okay, so yeah, these Anunnaki created humans as we are right here. I mean, you look at me, I'm a human, right? I was, whatever, generations ago, primates. We were prehistoric man. And throughout the civilizations, throughout the eons of time, billions of years, the ETs have always come here to genetically alter and evolutionize their species, the species that are here. And every species that is here has been placed here deliberately, okay? They have technology where they can create and merge different DNA strands and make another species. So every living thing that you could possibly think of in this planet has come from something out there, okay? We didn't just like bloop into the existence. God said, let there be man and animals. Like, that does not make any sense whatsoever. Okay, that's just a whole religious dogma shit, okay? I grew up in Christianity. I know the Bible. Like, I could tell you some stories, and I can tell you what I never felt resonated with me. And I've always been intuitive since I was a little girl. I could totally tell when somebody was lying to my face. And I always felt incredibly awkward in churches. Because what I was hearing wasn't sounding right, and it wasn't genuine, it wasn't authentic. And that usually, I'm as an empath, when I'm crossing something that feels or is not true, inauthentic, I'm going to feel awkward. I'm going to feel really uncomfortable as an empath because I can feel the truth, but I can't, what I'm hearing isn't the truth, right? It's like a conflicting of energy. So my body tells me like, hey, this isn't true. This isn't authentic information. It's like one of the things that you benefit as an empath, once you unlock that skill set. And I want everybody to know that everybody has the skill sets that, like I do. Everybody has them. You just have to unlock them. You have to activate them. Because when you were born here, you were born with a wave of amnesia, right? You're not going to remember that you're able to do all that stuff. I mean, you originated from some advanced civilization that have all these gifts naturally, and they use them like all the time, But getting off topic, but Sumerian tablets, okay? They created us, okay? They made the Adam and the Bible, okay? And then they took the rib from Adam and made Eve, right? This is what they did. They used the DNA from the bones, okay? Like they used the DNA from this is how it happened. They created, they fused prehistoric man with their own DNA and got Adam, right? And then they took Adam and took some of his DNA and made a female counterpart. So that's where that came from, the Adam and Eve story in the Garden of Eden. Well, Garden of Eden doesn't exist, guys, okay? Garden of Eden is Earth, okay? It's, I don't know how to explain it. I think you can get some light bulbs going off, but anyway, Anunnakis made humans, okay? And the Sumerians were the first humans to be here, right? They were the first civilization, and they recorded things, and their stone, they carved their own language. Everything in Sumerian tablets has been translated now, okay? So we're able to understand where all this shit came from, okay? If you look at the Bible, I mean, you can just, especially if you read the Sumerian tablets after you've heard stories in the Bible, you're gonna be like, okay, I see what's going on here. I see that somebody just sit here, made the Bible and twisted it around. And I'm going to tell you, the Bible was created to suppress mankind. It was made to control you, to deceive you, and to manipulate you. Okay? And there's two groups of Anunnakis, okay? There's the bad ones, okay, that wanted to enslave humanity. And that's pretty much why they made humans, okay? They made us because they needed workers to mine the gold. I mean, they had the advanced machinery to be able to mine, but they wanted the workers to do it. So they created their own little slaves, right? Anyway, that's where all this, the beginning of time where slavery came from, okay? And Bigfoot, guys, you know what Bigfoot is? That's prehistoric man, okay? And they fused prehistoric man with giants, or DNA. And they've got another species of that. That's another ET that's still alive here on the planet. They're out in hiding because, why were they made? Because they were the farmers. They were easily manipulated. They could mind control them, like literally, and utilize them, their strength. They were so strong. They're strong. They could break a fucking tree in half. Like, that's why they were made to farm. They were made to do hard labor, which makes sense why they're in hiding now, because they don't want to go back to that. They don't want to be slaves again. I'm pretty sure they remember their history of their ancestors, and yeah, there's only so many alive now, right? I actually had a vision that there is like secret communities of these ETs, these Bigfoots. I don't, they have their own like way of communicating and stuff, but I think they're telepathic too. I don't want to go into that yet, but yeah, they're also created by the Anunnakis. Anyway, okay, so properties of gold, right? Anunnaki needed gold. What are the properties of gold, the element of gold or material? It is very conductive of energy, easily. We use it a lot of time in our technology, in our laptops, our phones. because it transfers energy conduits very easily. Okay, and on top of that, it's very malleable and stretchable. You can stretch a very small piece into very thin sheets and make it really big. We use it in our aircrafts, spaceships use gold because it's resistant to hot gases and toxic gases. It could be used as a insulation. It has various uses, and it makes sense that they would want to coat their deteriorating atmosphere of their planet with gold, right? It makes perfect sense. Why would the Sumerians know any of that? They didn't have any scientists back then. They didn't know anything about the rocks and what all this stuff did. They didn't have the advancement that we have now. They didn't know that we could use gold and transfer energy into our laptops and our phones and airplanes and aircrafts, So, the term Anunnaki derives from fallen, or come from the descendant from the sky, or descendant from the heavens, and that's where this fallen angel term came from. So I'm here to debunk that right there. There is no fallen angels, guys. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so the gold rush. I like to call it the gold rush. That's why they came here. They designed humans to be their workers. They designed Bigfoot to be farmers. They're basically royalty. They're a royal bloodline. Okay, guys, they're royal ET. And there's two groups. There's the good ones. Okay, the good ones left. Okay, the good ones left Earth after they gathered the gold. They left and they went back to their planet. The ones that stayed behind were the bad ones. The one that wanted to continue to benefit from slavery. Okay, the slavery of humans and whatever creatures they could muster up. Okay, and that's basically what's still going on. Back in the day, when all the Nazis and stuff, all this stuff like that. Believe it or not, ETs were still behind the government at the time. I want to say every major catastrophe, genocide, everything has been related to some of these negative ETs, dark ETs, okay? The ones that want to enslave humanity. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get into one of a dream I had, okay? Because I want to say it in this order because it would be better for you guys to understand that I didn't do any previous research before I had found out some of this information. Majority of this information I kind of channeled. The stuff about the Anunnaki and the Sumerian tablets I was able to research myself. But there are some very important people, some very important deities that used to live on this planet that I channeled by chance. And I had no idea who they were when I did. So, but I found out later who they were. But I'm going to go over my dream that I had with a deity that I didn't know about or didn't know the name of. But okay, so I was in this golden temple, right? And I had all these animals like I still do now. And I was talking to my animals. I was giving them love. I talk to them through my third eye like I do now. I do it all natural. It's just something I'm very good at. Anyway, I was in the temple and I was petting these dogs that had came up to me, and at first they were really nice and friendly, and so I started petting these dogs, right? And then they turned dark on me. Their eyes turned red, they glowed red, and then they turned black, and then they started snarling and growling and trying to bite me, and then I was screaming, and then down came this tanned being with white wings, and he had white clothing. He came down and he started fighting these beasts off for me. I knew he was an archangel, okay, or an angelic. Okay, he came and started fighting off the dogs, and then he warned me. He said, we have to leave. Okay, and then he summoned his king cobras. He summoned his king cobras, and then he had his king cobras fight the dogs while he helped me flee. When we fled, I jumped up in the air and I unfurled my angelic wings. And we flew together. Okay, I remember seeing that he had the king cobra thing on his head. and he summoned his king cobras, right? And then we flew up to the heavens, and then when I got high enough, I started grabbing onto God's drapes. God was a giant in my dream, okay? And I was crying. I was crawling up his robes, and I was mourning. I was crying and crying, and I was like, my babies, my babies, my babies. I was crying because I didn't want to leave my animals down there. My animals are like my babies, literally, like my children. Okay, believe it or not, angelics, I created my animals on the other side. I'm the mother to my animals on the other side. Angelics have the ability to create their own children from the other side and then have them born. So I'm very close to all of my animals because they're all my children. Okay? And I'm a mother of many animals that I've created as an angelic. But anyway, I was crying. I didn't want to abandon my babies down there, and I had woken up. And I was crying. I was literally like emotional. Like my heart was wrenching. I didn't want to leave my babies there because those demon dogs, those hellhounds, whatever, were there. And my God was just like, he was like, I know. Like he was trying to calm me down in the dream, trying to reassure me. Like I know. It hurt, like it bothered me, but. Anyway, I woke up, and then all I could think of was King Cobra. King Cobra. I was like, what is this? Who is this person? I don't know who King Cobra is. I was like, and then I thought occurred to me a day later. I was like, I'm going to talk to my friend that lives in Egypt, because this sounds a little bit Egyptian. I don't know. Having no previous knowledge about Egyptians, except some of the movies I had watched as a kid, like Salvador. I can't even remember the name of them. There were like cartoony movies of Egypt stuff about Joseph, Moses, and stuff. But anyway, I contacted a friend that lives in Egypt. He's lived there all his life. He believes wholeheartedly in the Quran, his faith, and so he knows a little bit about what's going on, like what history is there. And I asked him, I told him about my dream. I was like, hey, do you know, is there any like royalty or famous deity that their symbol was the King Cobra? And he's like, oh yeah, King Tut. So I was like, really? He's like, yeah, King Tut. So, and then I was like, okay. And then I told him, I was like, well, this is the person I was dreaming about then, right? And this is the person that came and saved me in my dream and defended me as an angelic. I was a fellow angelic, and he defended his brethren, or anyway, I want to say a good week or so later, I started having like really crazy downloads. I actually channeled King Tut, and they were explaining to me some of their ways of life and how they activate their kundalini and their light bodies and stuff. And the artwork, I think I channeled Ra too. I think I saw her. It was a girl. With I don't know. I can't remember. All I know is that what he was teaching me, he was telling me that the way she did some of those hieroglyphics, she painted them. Like she painted lots of them, and he was actually showing me how she did as an artist. Being an artist myself, I mean, I know every artist has their own way of doing their artwork. Right? Their own little quirk about how they get their masterpiece to unfold, right? Well, he told me that she puts the paint on her hand. They use the soil. They use some type of mineral from the soil, and they use it as paint. And then he said that she put on her hand, and she used her pinky like this, and then she would draw like this. Like she would paint like that with her pinky. So I thought that was cool. I didn't think I was going to get that through my channel, but anyway. But yeah, she painted some of those hieroglyphics, and then they go into they were trying to show me the drink, the eternal drink, and they were trying to tell me that this is how they activated their kundalini, or how they maintain their kundalini or something, because the type of drinks that we're drinking had a special effect on their root chakra, and they were so conscious in advance that they were able to move that energy upwards and harness it. They were just such an advanced civilization. And some of the other things that I was getting Let me see. What else was he saying? Oh, about the sexuality, like, they were trying to show me how to activate my kundalini and stuff, and they were, I was kind of hesitant, because I've been raised in, like, the Western civilization, whatever, Western society, so I'm very, like, controlling over myself. I'm not very out there, but but that was their lifestyle back then. They were just very open, and fluent and flowing in that energy. You know, they had the dancers. You think about it, they're constantly activating or living embodiment of an activated state. So, and they were trying to show me how the twin flame pairs, because I told them that I was a twin flame, and they were very happy about that. They were really excited, because back in the day there was only so many of them, but now we have a whole bunch of them incarnated, and they were just so excited. And I was telling them the year and everything, 2018, and they were just so, like, happy to hear that there was twin flames. And then they were trying to say that how twin flames would energetically merge. They would breathe into each other's mouths, and then, like, move the energy up, like, from the root all the way to the crown, and then it would explode. They were just very, very conscious of how to use their light bodies and their energy. The light body is basically the activated state, guys. Everybody has one, okay? Just to underline what that is, okay? I don't want anybody asking me, what's a light body? A light body is like another body that, you know, like the astral body, the etheric body, mental, emotional, celestial. Celestial is like basically the light body, okay? But this is how you receive the activations, is through your light body, and this is how you harness it into your physical vessel, right? When you're living in an awakened state or activated state, you use those terms interchangeably, okay? Activated is enlightenment, okay? So they were living in an enlightened state, okay? And that was their way of life. They were very open and fluent with their energy. They knew how to move and manipulate the energy and to balance their chakras. They had a lot of advancement that we're beginning to remember, you know, re-unlock. Anyway, so yeah, I channeled King Tut, and then I kid you not, like, not even a couple of days later, I found this article called 777 Archangel Michael, why twin flames are interfered with. I found it, and I started reading, and then this deity that everybody calls Archangel Michael, right, that everybody channels, well, what if I told you that he was already incarnated this lifetime and he just passed away? What if I told you that? You know, I mean, he is still the knighted angel of God. He's still the angel that is able to help people at many levels. Because as an archangel, as like me, I'm an archangel. I'm able to help people across the planet. My higher self can be anywhere at various times, and real time. You know, I could be anywhere. I'm so, like, aware of how I can maneuver myself while still being right here. I can port anywhere if I want to. Like, I can go anywhere. I've gotten to that point where I'm just like, I can move in between the realms just so very easily, and still be in my physical vessel, be awake. Most people have to be asleep or in lucid states or meditative states to be able to do that. Me, I just do it in a freaking instant. I'm able to, like, okay, for example, like last year, where I live, there was 3 massive hurricanes, okay? And I remember I was awake, and I was so bad. I was in the area where some of the storm was hitting, but I literally felt myself be pulled to the coastline, and I think God had commanded all his archangels to go to the coast and help people. And I think that's why I literally remember have a recollection of going to the coastline to assist, you know, to contribute to that the issue that was going on over there. And I actually was in real time experiencing the storm hitting the coastline. Like, I heard a little boy scream, and I went to him immediately. And then I was there, and he could hear me. That little boy was so shocked, you know, with the disaster that was going on, that he was like, his etheric body was out, and he was able to feel me and know that I was there. And I told him everything was going to be all right. And as soon as I poured it there, I actually had to shield him because I felt like there was a big gust of wind about to hit this little boy. And I literally felt myself unfurl my wings, and I used it like a shield over this little boy. And I could feel the wind hitting my back in real time. I'm literally sitting in my room, and I'm feeling myself all the way on the coastline, shielding this little boy with my wings. You know, I could feel it, and I could hear the winds, I could hear the sirens, I could hear everything, and I could feel the hit, the wind. You know, I'm getting goosebumps. Look at this. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I don't know if y'all can see that, but anyway. You know, it's the fact that this universe is not limited to this physical vessel. And when you're in awakened state, you're able to be anywhere at any point. So I totally believe that people are able to still have the assistance of archangels at any time, and then those archangels still be incarnated as well. You know, being me, I'm aware when I'm needed somewhere. Okay, like I know when I'm needed. I know what I'm doing up there. Like constantly, I can hear myself. There's times I actually hear my God self up there talking to other God selves of other people. I could hear myself. I could feel and converse consciously in real time at the higher level, and like be right here and looking at something, doing whatever, and still be aware of what I'm doing up on both levels. You know, I'm able to do that. And I'm also able to astral project. So I can go to any part of the universe and see places and talk to ETs and see all the other animals and stuff. I'm able to see all that stuff, being in the awakened state that I am. Like, I'm so aware of the flow of this universe. Like, there's no limit. There really is no limit. You know? Anyway, so yeah, I helped this little boy. And so I just wanted to verify that's basically probably what's happening with Archangel Michael. Okay? But go ahead and look up 777 Archangel Michael, why twin flames are interfered with, and then just go ahead and read that article. You know, some major light bulbs. His twin soul is named Susan Elsa. That's all I'm going to say. But she has been under attack a lot energetically, you know, but she does have a lot of proof, a lot of archaeological proof. She's had past life memories resurface from when she was a child. She's been remembering things since she was born. You know, when she was born, she just had such an aware state as a child that she was able to remember what it was like to be alive during the Egyptian time. And I want to tell you that Archangel Michael and his twin are the reincarnation of Isis and Oasis, okay? This Isis and Oasis, everybody thinks that they're part of, okay? I want you to know that they were real twins, and they were king and queen during the time of the Egyptians. Okay, there's a story about Oasis getting murdered by his brother, okay, and chopped up into 13 pieces, and then scattered across Egypt. And then his twin Isis, who was still alive, went and gathered majority of pieces, as many as she could. And one of those pieces was the third eye that was dismembered. Okay, so anyway, this is how I found out that literally I started having all this channeled information, all this stuff coming to me like bam, 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 like right after I had that dream. And Isis actually, at Susan Elsa, giving her verbal her verbal testimony of having the past life memories of being a queen, being Queen Isis, you know, as well, and then her twin being Oasis during the time of the Egyptians, and having a lot of archaeological evidence to support that. You know, there's so much stuff we found, and she's verified everything that she has said. Okay, everything she has said it, and then the proof came later. Like, that's just how I know that she's 100% genuine and real. There have been people who have told me that this girl isn't his twin, but you know what? I see twin energy. Okay, I know it. I know it's twin energy when I see it, and I know how it works. Okay, like I know that twin flames are literally the same, and then when they do go through the merging process energetically, they start shifting into similar versions of each other. So they both have the balance of masculine and feminine in each body, right? As a woman, I have both masculine and feminine balanced, okay? And then my twin has masculine and feminine balanced. And then that's the 4 pillars, the 11-11, okay? That is the energy of twin flames. When they merge, they become one. They literally become one in 2 bodies. Okay, so they start looking like each other and everything. And if you have a twin flame that died, obviously you're going to start having symptoms of your twin in your body. So this is what happened with her too. So I know she's 100% genuine. I don't doubt her for a second. And anyway, she actually gave the testimony that she gave birth to a miracle child. Okay, Oasis had merged with her energetically after he died, and she conceived a miracle child. So she didn't have sex with anybody, but had a child, because her twin flame is an angelic, and she's an angelic, and this is how babies get made. Okay, special babies get made when twin flames merge the higher levels, okay? If it's verified and approved by God, the child can be born. You know, the child can be born physically, or conceived physically, without any intercourse. Which I'm now transitioning into the story of Mother Mary and Joseph, right? The archangel that came to Mary, right? And conceived the miracle child baby Jesus, right? Okay, now I'm getting into this. This is very important, very close to me, and I want everybody to know that I'm not supposed to tell anybody, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I am the reincarnation of Yeshua's daughter, Sarah. So I'm one of his first children that he conceived when he was incarnated, during the time that he was walking earth, okay? I don't want you guys to you're just saying that. All my life, I denied it, okay? All my life. I felt it when I was a child. I felt like I was his child, but I never wanted to acknowledge that. I never tried to acknowledge that. I always shoved it down. I was like, that can't be possible. You know, I didn't want to feel that way, because I didn't want to feel like I guess part of me didn't feel worthy of that. And I've been in communication with angels and Yeshua since I was a little girl. Okay, like I always saw him. He always came to me, and I always had all these angels around me. You know, they were constantly guarding me. I used to have really bad night terrors because there were things that knew that I was special, and they wanted to hurt me, and they were constantly trying to torment me and upset me and traumatize me at such a young age. And I actually had problems. Okay, not to mention that I was molested when I was 5 by my own father. I mean, these forces know how to get through certain people that are close to these special children, and then a lot of bad things happen to them. I'm going to go into my childhood later, maybe after I finish talking about the important subjects, just so y'all can have a background of who I am and what I've been through and my journey thus far and my awakening. But I'm gonna do that after I finish what I'm talking about here. Okay, so Yeshua is a descendant of the Anunnaki, the royalty Anunnaki, okay? During the time that, before he was conceived, they predicted his death. They literally tracked the lineage. There were some dark ETs that tracked the lineages of the Anunnakis, okay? Like this, especially the ones with the strongest lineage, okay? And like, so they tracked it, and they knew he was going to get born. They knew he was going to be born, and they thought, well, we can use this man. We can use this man and manipulate him and make him a tool to help us continue to enslave humanity, right? And so, you know, in the Bible, you know how it goes into detail about how, like, Mother Mary was on the run because there was somebody that wanted to order Jesus killed before birth, right? this is what this Dark ET's, this is a Dark ET's planning, okay? They were like, well, we can make him a celebrity, right? We can make him a celebrity and make him famous before he's even born, right? So they wanted to predict his birth, and they wanted to make it seem like he was so special that there was somebody that wanted him dead, and then everybody would know that this was the Son of God, you know, that if there was an attempt to murder, you know, to this unborn child before he's born, the Messiah of Son of God, you know, Son of God of man, you know, like they wanted to celebritize him before his birth, right? So that's why Mary had ran away with her child and Joseph, and she gave birth to Jesus in the barn with the animals, okay? And the wise men that traveled to see this child, guess what? These wise men were Anunnakis, okay? Like, they already knew that he was going to be born, and they wanted to witness his birth. Nobody was actually trying to kill Yeshua before his birth. They just wanted to make him celebrity. Okay, they wanted everybody to know that this plan to make him the tool for control, enslavement, you know, what they were planning on using him for, okay? They wanted everybody to know that he was important, okay? And so, yeah, so he was born, and then as a child, he had all these teachers, right? They literally signed up, they literally had him, like, learning from all these people that they had already pre-planned for him. And then as he got older, he wanted to seek out the Buddhists, people like the Buddhists and holy teachers, the ones that were living in oneness, you know, like the ways of life, the secret of the universe, you know, like the being one with all life, and being loving and forgiving, and being that example of that. He learned majority of his he was well learned by a lot of people, but he favored Buddhists, and he was friends with slaves. When I was talking to him about it, he showed me that his shoes, that he had the sandals, and so he was basically trying to relate to me that he wanted to humble himself before the slaves, like an equal. He wanted to experience what that was like and understand them from that perspective. I'm smiling because he's smiling. But yeah, he was empathizing and sympathetic towards the slaves, right? And he didn't want them to be enslaved. But he had later found out that this is what these dark ETs were trying to use him for. He told me that it wasn't specifically the Anunnaki that were planning this, okay? But it was what we know as the tall whites. I don't even want to say their names. I don't like them. Anyway, the tall whites. He told me that during that time that he was alive, that they were trying to use him as a tool. Okay, when he had found out about their deceit and their manipulation, that they were going to plan to use him, you know, he started rebelling against that. You know, especially after he learned from the Buddhists and a lot of the wise men, the wise civilizations. Like, he was well traveled and well learned, you know, and he wanted to be that peace. He wanted to be the purity of that. You know, he wanted to embody the example of what we all should be doing, being interconnected and equal and loving towards one another, and you know, practicing oneness. You know, being oneness with all life, respecting life, you know, because that is the truth of the universe. That's the wisdom of the cosmos, right? Well, you know, the fact that he had realized that they were trying to use him and politics and stuff to manipulate everybody, he started rebelling against that. He showed me, you know, that movie Passion of the Christ, right? If you all, I don't know how many of you have seen it, but in that movie, he pushed the tables over. Like, I see, not that one, not the Passion of Christ. It's the Son of God or something. It was like a TV show, like 4 seasons or something. I think, or 4 episodes. I don't remember. But he showed me him pushing the tables over, the tax tables. There was a table with coins and taxes. They were collecting taxes from the very impoverished, poor people that needed the money to eat and do all this stuff. And all this, the money system it's designed to keep people enslaved, right? It's designed to keep people in need and poverty. You know, it's not necessarily supposed to be abundant. It's supposed to enslave people. And during the time, they were collecting taxes from the poor, you know, to give to the wealthy. And Yeshua, he showed me pushing over tables from that scene in that that movie series. He pushed over the tables like he was rebelling against this whole concept of enslavement, you know, and that is what is still happening. Everybody is still enslaved. Nobody knows that they're enslaved, you know, and they don't know who's behind it, right? They don't know who's doing it, who designed this. Was it the Rothschilds? You know, no. Okay, that was way before that. They were way before any of that. They've been around. They've been doing this shit for years and billions and billions of years, eons of time. They've been doing it since the very beginning. You know, since man was the first created, you know, they wanted to keep us enslaved, okay? And, okay, I don't really like talking about this next subject, because I don't like them. I don't like them at all, and I don't want you guys to trust any of them at all. They're not our friends, okay? I'm going to tell you that. They're not friends of us, for us. They're not here to help us. The Illuminati, okay? Stay away from them. They're not illumined, okay? They're not aware or enlightened. Don't trust them, okay? I'm going to tell you why. They're still abusing us, okay? They're in the government. They're pulling strings behind the curtain in the governments. They're pulling strings in the music industry, okay? People are selling their souls for fame and wealth. And then they're using their bodies. They're literally having negative entities jump in these bodies that these people have chosen arrogantly to sell their souls for fame and wealth. Okay? And I don't even like talking about it. It makes me so uncomfortable. I don't know how people could be so stupid, you know? But anyway, the tall whites, okay, the tall whites that were trying to use Yeshua as a celebrity, as a tool to start the politics or continue the politics, you know, because they were obviously, there was a battle going on between Christians, there was all these different faiths, right, like a bunch of faiths, Judaism, Romans, you know, everybody had their own beliefs, right? Well, they were trying to use Yeshua as a tool. Oh, Son of Man, this is the Messiah of men. He is royal. He is the closest to God. Because what is he? He's a twin flame. He's a twin union. He was birthed from God's source. One of the first origin twins to be born. Okay? He's an origin union. He's very important. I mean, he's very important. Yeah, at the soul level, he's very important. Energetically, his lineage, he's very important. Okay, because he's an angelic. So yeah, where angelics come from? They come from Anunnakis. Anyway, so yeah, they were trying to use Yeshua as a tool in their game of chess. Okay, and he realized that, and he rebelled against them. And then, when I was watching Passion of the Christ, I actually watched it a couple of days ago to verify what I was picking up and channeling, and he was just telling me a lot of it's deceit and lies. You know, he's telling me that it's just lies. There were some scenes I was showing, I was like, is this real? Is this real? He's like, no, this is all lies. Like, and then the crucifying of him, I've had people tell me that he's been crucified. I've been taught he's been crucified. I don't feel like he was. I don't know why. some stuff he's not allowed to talk about, I guess. But he's just getting like, when I feel into that, I just don't feel like he was crucified. And when I was watching the movie, it just made me so uncomfortable to watch it. You know, I mean, it's gory and it's nasty, but that's not what I was uncomfortable with. It's like they enjoyed this. Like, when they made this movie, like, they were enjoying the fact they were beating him up. The actor of him. You know, they're glorifying the crucifixion of Yeshua. You know, it's just like they went all out with it, and this is what they teach in the Bible. You know, the Bible is a tool to manipulate humanity. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Whoever believes so much in the Bible, I feel sorry for you, because you know what, you're being lied to and you're believing dross. Okay. There's things in the Bible that have been twisted and altered, and they originated from Sumerian tablets, and a lot of it's just religious stuff that's been made up, I guess you could say, made up and perceived a certain way from the ego, you know. But yeah, Yeshua is, from what I really feel like he did, I think he did. He didn't die. I think they used somebody to continue the celebrity. You know, I think that's what I think they did. You know, the rags of Christ. You know, the ones they found in the cave. Supposedly artifacts that religious deities have held on to. I'm getting like, he's like laughing at me. He's like, I don't know. I just feel like they used somebody else. Okay, and they claimed it was Yeshua. You know, and then they held on to this artifact. I mean, celebrity. They made him a celebrity. Okay, and he started rebelling, didn't want to participate in that crap, you know, and switched sides, realized deceit. That's what he's saying right now. Continued his life. He said continued his life as a different person. He said as a different person. I'm literally having him speak through me right now. And, he's laughing. I don't know why, but I guess he's laughing at me. Anyway, it's just like the idiocy of these fucking people, you know, like, I think it's why he's laughing, because it's just like, it's so stupid that they sat here and they continued the celebrity of Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth, after he already rebelled against them, and then turned another direction, and then changed his name and became a different person, you know, and lived a different life in secret. Okay, I don't know. He switched to an Englishman. He said something. Englishman. He said Englishman. He came an Englishman for some reason, but he lived, and he married Mary Magdalene, conceived Sarah and Elijah. Okay. Who do you guys think you're talking to right now? I mean, anyway, I'm laughing. I'm just having a field day right now. Anyway, it's a field day. But anyway, yeah, he continued living his life. And he changed his name, became an Englishman, and continued. And he continued his way of life that he learned from the Buddhists and a lot of the other holy wise men, well-learned teachers. You know, he continued that example, and he spent the rest of his life trying to undo what they were trying to do. Because he said the tall whites are responsible for enslavement, continuing enslavement, and they were behind the political systems. So, they still are, guys. They still are. And I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of you people going to church still, if I were you, I'd get out of there. okay? Because there's a lot of Satan's, some rituals in there, some things like eating the flesh and blood of Christ. That's not holy, okay? That is a form of paganism, okay? If you're a witch, if you're a witch and you're doing spells and rituals and things like that, to do ill will intent, you're going to eat something like, for example, eating the flesh and blood of an animal, you know, or something similar to it. That is not holy, guys. Catholics, they practice it. They're Satanists and Catholics. The Catholic faith is basically like an underlying feature of paganism and Satanist. Okay, guys? Like, I don't really believe there's a Satan. I just believe that there's a term called Satanist, and that's something that is rebelling against sacred. It's basically sacrilegious. I might as well just say sacrilegious, because they're basically shitting on something that is very important, holy, and very important. Enlightenment. It's holy. It's a holy trinity, unity. You know, like, these practices don't do nothing for us, guys. I grew up in Christianity. Okay, I've been to Baptist churches. I've gotten baptized at 13 and to save my soul. You know, and I've been in Catholic churches where they're eating. I've eaten that stuff before, the crackers and the grape juice. I've had it long before I knew what it was. But we're so arrogant that we follow blindly, guys. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. And they're basically shitting on Yeshua. I mean, come on, guys. He was like an example, a holy example of the way we all should be. And these damn religions have been so twisted and gnarly, and they just turn it to something else, man. But they've been designed intelligently to control people, keep you disempowered. You need a savior. Go to church. You need a savior. No, you don't. What is that? That teaches you disempowerment, doesn't it? You're not powerful enough to help yourself. You're not powerful enough for anything. Give it all to God, because you don't have power. You don't have a say, right? Like, the world just happens to you. The experience just happened to you. You're a victim, you know. Believe me, I know what that's like, because I've been in the same shoes. Okay, I know what that's like, to feel like the whole world's attacking me, being a victim, and feeling like I need somebody to save me. But you know what? There's the truth of that is that, well, we can ask. I still ask for help sometimes, you know. I've been doing a lot recently because I've been under a lot of psychic attacks, but the fact that you can help yourself, guys. You don't need a savior. You know, there's no such thing as a savior. Yeshua isn't the savior of mankind. You know, he's just a twin flame at Walk the Earth. His mission was to share the love and the light, as with all other twin flames, you know. And while they knew he was coming and they tried to manipulate him, he found out later that they were just trying to use him, continue on this politics shit, you know. And it's still going on, guys. Still going on. It's pretty sad. And I actually had a dream this one time. Yeshua came to me in my dream. Well, he didn't came to me, but I came to him. And I was dreaming, and I was just like, I'm so helpless, you know, in the state in my dream. And I'm like, Yeshua, please save me. God, please save me, you know. And then he just looked at me. He shook his head at me. He's like, and he just like shook his head at me. And I was like, what? You know, I was like, what's wrong, Yeshua? You know, I was like asking him, I was like, what's wrong? You know, I was genuinely concerned about why he was acting so, like, frustrated, you know. And then I woke up and I was like, you know what? I know why. Because I'm crying out for help, and I don't necessarily need him to save me, right? I'm like, save me this, do that. I was already going through the awakening process, and there I was still trying to dip into that. Save me, I need a savior, you know. And he just looked at me like, Amy, like, you already know, like, you've already heard that you don't need a savior, right? Basically, I mean, he didn't even have to say this to me. I already knew what he was just frustrated about. And I could just imagine, like, what everybody else is doing. How, and I asked him one time, I was like, so what is it like hearing all these prayers all at once? He's like, loud. He's like, loud. He told me it's loud. It's okay to pray, guys. It's okay. But the fact that if you're praying to get saved, you know, unless you're, like, asking for, like, miracles, like, that's a different story. Okay, if you're, like, asking, like, hey, God, can you please come through and heal this person that's sick in bed, you know, that's okay. Especially if you're not awakened or you're not aware that you can possibly unlock your Reiki skills. Everybody has them in their hands, guys. There's 2 chakras in each hand. You can use your hands to transfer energy, channel energy, and push it out through your palms. Visualize colors going to the body for a specific need or requirement. That's Reiki, okay? You can all do it naturally. You don't need anybody to tell you that you have the gifts or that you don't. Like, that's the biggest lie that anybody could say to you. That you don't have the gifts, you can't do it. That's not true. Everybody has these gifts pre-installed. You just have to unlock them. Okay? We are twin flames are torch bearers. We're the way showers. We're going to tell you, hey, we can do it. So can you. You don't need to be a twin flame. You don't need to be this and that or an alien to be able to do anything. Like, I mean, we're all aliens, right? All of us. We're all related. We have ancestors out there that have all contributed to our genetic structures and our evolutions throughout the bazillions of years that have already passed. Okay, so we're all our own little special brand of special ET, you know. We have mixtures, hybrids. We're hybrids, you know. That's what we are. We're all star seeds. And that's a lot of the questions I was getting. Like, am I a star seed? Am I this and this and this? Am I from Syria? Am I from Lemuria? Am I from this and this? Guys, none of that's important. Let me tell you why. Sorry, I burped. I mean, it's important to acknowledge, but it's not important to psychoanalyze where you're from specifically, because you've been reincarnated over and over and over and over and over again, and every time you've had a new set of genes, a new set of signature in your body. I mean, you had other DNA strands placed there, merged with you at the spiritual level. I mean, you got Lemurian, you've got Syrian, you've got this and this, and like all these other ET races have already contributed to you. You don't even know. Like, you're everything. You're what? There's the oneness right there. That's the oneness. The oneness consciousness. We're all one, aren't we? You know, we're all from the same source of energy. We all have the same creators. You know, and well, it's great to want to learn more about what past lives we were in. You know, for example, I was in Orion star system. I don't know where specifically, but I know it was from there. And then I was Atlantean. I know I was an Atlantean child of some sort. I don't have a full memory of that, and nor do I feel like I need to go through a session where I need to understand that. Like, I know that, okay, I know the basics of the Atlantis peoples. I know they were highly advanced civilization. You know, they had technologies with crystals. It's fun to learn about all that stuff. Yes, I love that, because it does help you unlock more of your skill set, or remember more of your skill sets, right? But it's not necessarily important for you to remember every single lineage that you're stemmed from. Like, we're somewhere along the way, we've all been connected somehow, you know? So I don't want to, like, I know a lot of people were asking me in the readings, like, am I from this and this? And, like, I'm just like, well, I can give you a specific lineage that I know for sure you're linked to, but I'm pretty sure you've got pretty much every one of them, you know, with everybody, you know. There is no. We've all been interconnected at some point. Okay, that's the underlying factor of that. Anyway, okay, so starseeds and lineages. Where was I before that? Okay, Christ's birth. Deception of religion, the sacrilegious practices of religion. Oh, the Illuminati. Let me go more into that because we need to know what's going on with that stuff, especially right now. They're the enemy, okay? If you think there's an enemy there in the universe, that's the enemy. Okay, so so basically, Illuminati are wearing masks of enlightenment. They are not truly enlightened. And their symbol, the eye in the triangle, guess where that comes from? Egypt, right? Why Egypt? Because Egypt was an advanced civilization. They were actively using their third eye to see between the veils, to travel, astral projects, and they would have conscious deaths, okay? They would go through a series of ceremonies, right? And be conscious of their death, okay? And they're conscious, they're literally dying, they're dead, and they know that there's a practice, the little ritual, where they were aware of what was going to take place after they died, right? They were taught that. So they already knew where they were going. And the pyramids were vehicles, like basically like a vehicle for the energy, like a pillar, like a conduit, right? When the souls would die, they would get projected into the pyramid, and then their souls would be bursted to the Orion star system. If you think about it, the pyramids are directly aligned under the Orion star, Orion's belt, right? Perfectly aligned. Why would they do that? Afterlife? What do you do when you're going through an ascension process, right? You live your life consciously, right? You die consciously, you ascend, and then you move into the next dimension or the next life, the afterlife. Guess what? The star system, Orion, right? That is like like the next level, right? Kind of like a step up for an incarnation, right? Well, they literally used the pyramids to project the souls that were ascending. They were going to ascend, basically, and have it projected towards the Orion star system as an energy conduit. And these people would ascend, and they would be reborn or reincarnated at a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of being. You know, that's the afterlife. That's basically how do you think these ET civilizations kind of did it? You know, like they had all this technology and all that. Like you advanced up a step, you know, every time you ascended. And let me just say that we've ascended. That's twin flames, couple unions. We've all ascended various planetary systems. We've done this over and over again. This is not the first time this is happening. You know, but this is a different time. It's a different signature for an ascension. But we've all done it. The unions, the twin flames, have all been everywhere. They've been everywhere, and they've ascended various planetary systems. And a lot of the twin flames are very, very old souls. Okay? They've done this over and over again. They just don't have a memory of it. But, sorry, that was my notifications. Hold on. Okay, so that's what the use of the pyramids is for. But why the eye and the symbol, the eye and the triangle, right? Well, apparently there used to be top parts to those triangles. Another triangle piece. If I can draw it for you, let me just explain it. It'd probably be so much better if I could draw it for you guys. Okay, so you have pyramid. We're going to pretend like my drawing is a 3D, right? Okay, this is my, if y'all can see that. Okay, this is the pyramid, right? This is a 2D picture of it, but this is pretend that it's 3D, right? There was a top piece on the top of the triangles, okay? Or pyramids. This piece connected to the bottom part, right? Or you can go as much as saying like this piece right here was merged to the top right here. So what does that symbolize? It symbolizes you being connected to your vessel, right? What is your body? Your body's a temple, right? You're a goddess, you're a god. You're God and goddess embodiment, right? You're a temple. Your body's a temple. It's a vehicle. What are the pyramids? They're a temple. They're a vehicle, for ascension. And we have the triangle, the top part, connected to the bottom part of the triangle. That is literally being in, it's like symbolic of being in connection with your God self being connected to your earth self, right? That's full on connection. That's full on ascension. That's full on awareness. The third eye, the all-seeing eye that they put in their triangle, right? The eye, what is the third eye? The third eye is used for seeing beyond the veils, for intuition, seeing through lies and bullshit. Okay? It's for ascension. It's for communicating to God's source, being communicated to your higher self, your God self, communicating with other deities, ETs, telepathy. This right here is very important for us, for our awareness, for our discernment, our survival as a species. It's very important. I don't know if y'all seen a US dollar bill. Didn't look at it closely, but there's an eye in the triangle. And notice how that part, that small piece, the triangle, the top part, the eye, is deliberately disconnected from the bottom half of that triangle, right? The bottom part of that triangle. Why? It is abusive. That is an abusive way to demonstrate awareness, okay? It's an abusive symbol. It's basically saying, like, hey, we're gonna control you. We're gonna take away your awareness. We're gonna take away your discernment. We're gonna take away your ability to see beyond the veils. We're gonna take away everything that you are meant to have, so that we can control your temple, right? We can disconnect you from God's source, and we're gonna control you easily that way because you're not gonna be connected, right? You're gonna be so disempowered that we're gonna have our hooks in you. We're gonna be able to do whatever we want to do with you, right? That is the abusive symbol of the eye in the triangle, the all-seeing eye, Illuminati. Don't trust these motherfuckers, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there that are having requests on Facebook. I mean, they're getting into the communities of twin flame communities, okay? And they're pretending, they're wearing the mask of enlightenment, of awareness, of light workers, right? Let me just tell you something. They know that the twin flames, especially twin flames, the torchbearers, are a direct threat to their agendas of enslavement, are keeping people enslaved. Okay? If we got out there and we broke the system, right? We broke the matrix. We exposed them, exposed what they're doing. They're not going to control people. They're not going to be able to manipulate us because our light bulbs are going to tick off. We're going to reconnect to our higher self, our awareness, and we're going to see through the bullshit. So yeah, they're going to come into our communities and try to deceive us, right? Get into the groundwork and then try to manipulate from there. Because this is how they do it. I've had visions. I know some specific people, specific celebrities that are they're in trouble. That's all I gotta say. They're in big trouble because the fact they're playing a major part in the deception and corruption and enslavement of mankind, especially since the divine has the agenda to reawaken consciousness here and raise it up and reconnect everybody. If you're going against the light workers of the planet, their true twin flames, if you're going to go against them, you're going against the divine's plan for humanity, and you cannot be getting anything positive out of that next lifetime. Whoever these people are, they're stupid. They sold their souls and something else took over them and are playing a major part in the deception of humanity, and they're conscious about it. But they wanted riches, they wanted fame. That's all they wanted it for. They were just stupid. People are stupid, I'm sorry to say it, but they are. Not to be mean, but it's the truth. Anyway, I had some visions of specific people that were trying to identify twins. I actually had a vision specifically. I'm gonna say it. I don't like her name. I don't like her. I don't know who's taking over her, but man, she's in trouble. Anyway, they, her name's, I don't want to say it. Hold on, let me just ask for some protection. Hold on. Yeshua, can I please have a shield around my space while I talk about this topic? Because I don't want to hear, I want them hearing me right now in the live moment. They're going to hear about it eventually, but I don't want them listening in on my conversation. Okay. So, Nicki Minaj, she's an artist, right? A rap artist. Guess what? She's one of the major leaders of this Illuminati shit. One of the major pawns. Okay? They're using frequencies in her music to brainwash and to manipulate people. We all know that frequencies do have an effect on our consciousness and our bodies. What if I told you her music is deliberately designed even to disempower people, to energetically distort and corrupt them, you know, to where they're disconnected from themselves. Like, their frequency is negative. It's harmful to us, our consciousness. And anyway, I had this dream. It was a lucid dream. I know it was real. And she was like, she got on a podium. She was like, I want all the twin flames to stand up. If you're a twin flame, please step forth, what she was saying. And of course, we're twin flames. We're going to own that, right? We're going to display it, our true colors. Yes, we're twin flames. I'm a twin flame. Oh, I'm not going to deny that. I'm in empowerment. I'm going to tell everybody I'm a twin flame. I'm not scared to admit that. You know, so we all did that. We all stood up and we stepped forth and we revealed ourselves. And then I remember her laughing, and like she gave me like this evil smile. Like she just smiled, like she had just tricked us or something. When I had woke up from that dream, I knew that the reason why they were asking for twin flames to step forward so they could identify how many were on this planet. And there was it was a large mass of people too in my dream. And when she had asked them to step forth, they all stepped forth. And so they were trying to deliberately identify the twin flames. Guess why? Why? Because they want to target us. They want to make sure they got the numbers. They want to make sure that they can somehow beat us. You know, they want to attack us. They want to disempower us. Guess what? All these psychic attacks, guess what? What if I told you that you're being psychically attacked because you're a twin flame? Okay? You're a light worker. You're a torch bearer. You're made to help this planet. You're here to break the system. You're here to break the matrix. Okay? You're here to break it up. And you're here to turn on some light bulbs. And they see you as a threat. They see you as a threat to their agenda. Their enslavement agenda. And actually, I had some threats. They were threatening me. They were psychically attacking me. They were like, we're going to do a genocide. We're going to do another genocide. They were like being all cocky and excited about it. Like they were going to specifically kill all these twin flames. And what if I told you that last year, you know, all those major storms blew through, what if I told you that was all fabricated? That was a test run for disempowerment, to see how many people would get stranded. You know, how easily it would traumatize and distort people and get people at the mercy of the government, right? If we're relying on the government for support, we're going to be easily controlled, right? Well, something like a catastrophe taking place, putting us out of our homes, something that was genetic or engineered, geomagnetically engineered to have us at their mercy, right? That was a test run last year. What if I told you that they're planning to do something much more devious, something much more problematic for us as a whole, as a humanity? You know, those old Walmart buildings and stuff, they're closing down and remaking into holding spaces for immigrants and stuff. Well, what if I told you that's a test run? What if I told you that's a test run for everybody? Oh, they're doing it to specifically immigrants now, but this is a test run. Oh, I wonder what, we're going to board them off. We're going to cage them. They're building gas chambers. What if I told you that, what happened with the Nazis? What if I told you the tall whites were behind that? And they did the mass genocides of the Jews because the Jews were what? once slaves, right? Or once slaves, and who was associated with a slave who was friends with slaves? Yeshua. Yeshua. He was here. I mean, he was friends of the Jews. He was their light pillar. This genocide, they directly attacked the lineages of these slaves. And they tried to wipe them out. What if I told you that these negative, hostile ETs were responsible for that event? What if I told you that? And every war that has ever taken place has been caused by these negative ETs. What if I told you that? Not humans. I mean, humans are the puppets. The political leaders are puppets. I will never trust anybody. I know there's some of you that think Trump is a good president. You think that Trump is positive. Every fiber of my being does not trust Trump at all. I know his personality. He is impulsive. He's egotistical. He wants to show his balls to every other country and nation. You know what I mean? Playing with guns, playing with the big guns, nuclear bombs, nuclear wars, all that stuff. This man should not have power over that because he is very impulsive and will do anything to show off. You know, hey, we're USA, we're gonna kick your ass, da da da. No, like, this is the man's personality, okay? I don't want anybody to trust the government because the government is not our friend, okay? The government is not our friend. The political leaders are not our friends. They never will be. They're all puppets. They're all puppets to enslave us, okay? We're here to break out of that. We're here to break out of that. As torchbearer, I'm here. I'm going to reveal it. I'm going to expose it. There's nothing in this planet like political leaders. Stuff like that is never going to support us. It's never going to empower us. It's never going to give us our power back. Anything related to politics is never going to give us our power back, okay? Because it's all being manipulated. It's an intelligent system of manipulation, okay? Like, don't buy into all of it, okay? We don't need to do that. This is a different time. This is the golden age of Aquarius. This is a time where we can expand. We can remember how life was originally supposed to be. Before we were enslaved, we're all slaves. We were all slaves once. We came from that. And there's a war. Some of you came to me about wars, space wars, having dreams of space wars and invasions. There are some good ETs that are trying to help us, okay? I believe that wholeheartedly, that they're here to assist us and help us expand. Palladians, they're here to, they're trying to actually transmute karma that they have through us by helping us. So that's how they're in this system. They're here to help us. They're trying to transmute things that they were not able to do before, but they're doing it through us in a way. So it helps their civilization to help us, basically. And okay, so yeah, we have wars going on outside in the universe right now. Space wars. There is literally space wars going on. Okay? I know a lot of you have noticed the mass influx of UFO sightings. Y'all are noticing there's so much more UFOs being sighted, being spotted nowadays. Motherships being uncloaked and being seen. They're boldly here. Why now? You know, why now, right? What if I told you that there's been wars going on out there right now that were the past couple of months, past year or so? What if I told you that there's been some space wars going on? Like actual wars. Like literally spaceship firing at each other, fighting over which domain? Earth. Good ETs versus bad ETs, right? Good ETs are trying to claim this domain to be able to help us. Right? And then the bad ones want to fight to have this earth so that they can control us, right? What if I told you that the light won, or the light is winning, and that's why we see some ETs here in this planet? Their UFOs are literally sitting out here in our atmosphere, cloaked, sometimes uncloaked. At night, they're there, they're observing, they're listening. They're here to protect us. They're here to monitor, make sure nothing else is happening. The Ashtar Galactic Federation of Lights is very much responsible for the protection forces that are here in the planet. Okay? They're on our side. They're here to protect us and various other ET species. I actually talked to some people. I talked to somebody who then took me to the council to report something that I was talking about because they didn't know about it. This was about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I was channeling an ET at random, and I was just doing it to practice, right? I was talking to this ET, and I was just like, well, I started going over conspiracy theories and things that I had learned, things I studied on the internet, and things I'd watched on YouTube. And I started talking about this show called Mermaid: The Body Found, and the fact that there was a group of biologists that were investigating the mass beachings of a lot of marine life, because a lot of these marine lives had washed up shore, bleeding ears, bleeding eyes, blood coming out of their mouths and stuff from some type of trauma. And these biologists were there to figure out what was going on with that, because all these marine animals were washing up like that, and they suffered some type of similar trauma massively. And I've all seen that show. It's very interesting and it's very real. I'm going to go into it a little for a second, but I want to explain to you that I know this government, I know that its tactics, its ability to try to cover up people's identities once something has leaked. Right after that documentary was aired, they tried to cover it up. They tried to say it was a hoax and those were actors. They tried to say that was for entertainment purposes only. They tried to deny all the content in there, that it wasn't real. They tried to say it wasn't real. When I was watching that show, I was getting confirmation throughout the whole damn thing. Okay? These biologists, they're real people. I don't know what happened to them. They were probably murdered. And then their identities were wiped. That's what I can suspect what happened to them for outing this stuff. But it's very sad. A lot of holistic doctors are being killed. You know why? Because they've discovered cures for cancer. Well, there's cures for cancers. But the government doesn't want you to know that, right? They don't want you to know that because they're making a lot of money off of you, right? The whole system's a money-making scheme. Your illnesses give them money. Your medications give them money. Medications don't help us. They don't help us. They make things worse. I would know because I was on a lot of them when I was a child. They put me on them straight away. I entered CPS. I was 7 years old. They put me on pills. A whole shit ton of them. Boy, man, they were making money off of me, weren't they? And then on top of that, they were controlling me. They were able to manipulate me and abuse me and dole me out, right? Screw up my system, my digestive health. Medications don't help us. There's things out there. We have cures for everything. Mother Earth supplies everything. And medicines don't. The creation of medicines was designed to control people, or to help or make things worse. So you see these cancer patients that are going through chemotherapy. Why are they dying? Because they're not being helped. Okay, you're spending a lot of money on chemotherapy, and you can get healed, right? You can get healed with a cure for cancer. They have cures for cancers. There's such thing as cure for cancer. The fact that they're resorting to chemotherapy to treat a curable cancer to cure it, I mean, supposedly it's not curable, according to the government. The government's a big fucking liar. Okay? They're a liar, and these holistic doctors are turning up dead because they're outing them. Like, oh, I found a cure for cancer. I found a cure for cancer. Go do your research, guys. Do your research. Okay? How many holistic doctors been shot dead right after discovering cures for cancer? How many? A lot of them. Pretty much all of them that have made themselves public. That's a direct threat to their agenda, right? Their money-making scheme. What if the whole world found out about that? They'd be fucking trouble. They'd be in trouble. They'd be screwed, right? It's really sad. It's sad that people are dying and we're not getting the help. They're not getting the help they need. Because we are under a system of control and manipulation and lies and deceit. But we're here to break that paradigm. We're here to do that, right? Alright, I'm going to go into that video that I watched. That documentary about the ETs. Since I want to talk about ETs now. I love ETs, okay? I love topics about this stuff. I love UFOs, you name it. I know it all. I love it. Okay. So, in this show, the biologists that were investigating the mass beachings of these of the marine life with the bleeding eyes, ears, and mouths, right, from some type of similar trauma. They started doing an investigation. They were doing samples. They were testing the samples of the tissue. That's why they were there at the beach in the first place in the beginning of the show. They were there to gather some information, some data, some specimen to be able to test and look up under the microscope. And they had noticed that there was a secured spot closed off by yellow tape, and nobody was allowed to go over there, and there was Marines there, and they were surrounding something that was there, something that had washed up with the mass beachings, and then they were carrying away something in a body bag, right? They were trying to get all that out of there, and they had saw this, right? And they were wondering, like, why were they trying to secure the area off? I mean, we're all here to understand what's going on with the species, right? Why would they carry something off in a body bag? You know, they were confused. And so when they took their samples back, to the labs, and they started noticing that there were some abrasions on the skin or in the tissue that they collected, and it was trauma. It was literally like lesions of trauma, microscopically, and then that's what they were just discovering had killed, basically, or hurt the animals, and they couldn't figure out what was from, right? So they did further investigations into that, and this man got a call from, he had got a call from another biologist, a marine. He studied the sounds. Two different calls, I think. It was one from a man that had caught a great white shark and found some unknown specimen inside the shark. And then there was another biologist that he visited that had recorded something audio-wise of whales, because the specific biologist, or his field of expertise was to understand and relay the techniques of the vocalizations of a lot of various marine life, and this expert could identify bloops, screeching, sounds, and could identify which species that was, right? Which animal that was, what type of animal that was making that type of sound. And this guy had actually caught on audio, or audio recording, a ginormous blast. I mean, it was a sound blast. First they were hearing the whales chitter chatter with each other to echolocation, all that stuff. It's how they locate their prey. They communicate with each other across the water that way, using sound and blooping, stuff like that. Anyway, they captured on audio when they're recording these whales and dolphins chitter-chattering, and then all of a sudden they heard this ginormous sound blast, right? And then it went dead quiet for a couple seconds, and then next thing you know, you hear all these animals crying out in pain. I'm getting chills just remembering. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm getting goosebumps. And it's confirmation for me that these animals went through some significant trauma. I'm very empathic to that stuff. And it's confirmation for me that that's real. Okay? And all you hear is the screaming. You hear the whales, the dolphins, all the marine life screaming in pain, all at once. And then you hear, there was something else that had started screaming in there, and screaming in the audio. And the biologists couldn't figure out what it was. And they were like, well, this is my field of expertise. I've never heard anything of this bloop. And the fact that they heard a sound blast, they have every reason to suspect there's something suspicious going on with the Navy, right? So they called this guy that had discovered the tissues and studied some of the samples of the marine life that had washed up, right? It makes sense for them to collaborate with each other and tell them of their findings, right? They're scientists, they're biologists. And then this man, the man that had caught this ginormous shark and found the unknown specimen in the shark, right? The biologists that were doing originally the study on the tissues had gathered those samples, and then they hired people to reconfigure the skeleton, or try to, and try to get a visual of what type of species it was, because it was just unreal, something they'd never seen before, right? And they went into detail like this animal had various different parts of animals. Like, it was obviously one animal, but it was, it had a weird bone structure, and there was pieces. I mean, there were some parts that were missing, but there was pieces in there that just didn't make sense to be connected to each other, right? And so they started reconstructing the skeleton and everything, and trying to get a visual of what it was what type of species a shark swallowed. Well, they ended up finding out that this was not anything that was ever previously discovered, right? It wasn't any known species of animal, because it wasn't an animal. Okay, and then they realized that what they're dealing with, what they have now, is a being. Okay, a being, an aquatic being. They found an aquatic being, okay, an ET, that was an aquatic version of an ET. And shark had eaten it, and the audio guy had recorded them screaming. And then when they were at the beach gathering the samples initially, they saw the Navy trying to carry away a body bag because something had washed up. Right? So that's when they realized that this is something that has been swept under the rug, has been kept a secret. And then they hired their own team, or they had hired somebody to help them go undersea. They went under submarine style to a remote area where there's been suspicious activities of this stuff, and they actually caught some footage of these ETs. They literally did. And there were so many of them down there. I mean, there's a small population of them, but there's so many of them. And they caught one literally come up to the damn submarine and touch the damn submarine glass, and you could see the webbed fingers. And then you kind of could see its face a little bit there. And then there was two different angles they were shooting it from, right? The biologists, and they were able to capture the same footage at the right angles, two different angles, and it was obviously confirmed. It was confirmed that it was real and genuine. And so this biologist went on television. He went on and he was getting interviewed of his footage and his findings. And but yeah, like, they found footage of these ETs. So yeah, I was talking about this to the ET that I was channeling, right? And she told me, I must get back with you later. I have to go talk to somebody about this. And then she's like, I will come to you much later, is what she told me. And then I was asleep when she came back, but I could feel myself like etherically being hovered. Like, she pulled me up. I could feel myself levitating. And then she kind of dragged me along, like levitated me along, and then brought me to the council. I don't know which council. I'm pretty sure it was a Galactic Federation, though. It was a council, people that were mutually concerned for the safety of humanity and all other ETs. And she told me to tell them what I had watched on YouTube, And she told me to relay what I was suspecting this was, and and I had to relay to them that the government did try to cover it up and call it a hoax and say that it's not real and it's just actors. It was for entertainment, and they told me that this ET specifically is real, and their progeny race, their progenies, and they said they must be protected because they're one of a kind. There's nothing like them out there in the universe, and there's so little of them. They're very small numbered, and they must be protected. And so they were thanking me for bringing this to them because they didn't know that there was experiments going on underneath the waters. They didn't know that they were conducting experiments with sonar weaponry underwater that was causing all these mass beachings, right? The Navy is responsible for killing marine life with their experiments with weapons, an underwater weapon, okay? And so yeah, they didn't even know about it. I was like, how could y'all not have known about this? I was like, I'm surprised y'all didn't know. I thought y'all knew about this stuff. And they're like, no, we didn't know this was going on. And so like, yeah, that was very important for me to say something. So that, yeah, kind of actually helped. I've helped the marine life. I've helped them, the ETs that are underwater. I've helped humanity in a way. And up until then, like I hadn't had any crazy UFO encounters until that's when it all started. When I started channeling ETs where I was seeing a bunch of UFOs and stuff. And then and I know they were visiting me. I actually had it confirmed to me that I was talking to ETs and the UFOs that were nearby, because I remember I was lucid. I was still awake, but I was lucid, and I was communicating to an ET, and the ET told me it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. They're like, go outside, we're about to leave. I was like, what? They're like, look up. They told me to look up and go outside. And I went outside, and I was like, okay, where? And they're like, we're up. And I was like, what? And they were like, well, we're fixing to leave. And then I went out there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I saw the UFO, and I was like, oh my God. Because they told me they were out there, and they're getting ready to leave. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. And I went out there, and sure enough, there they were. They were literally in the sky. I could see the UFO. It was crazy. So that's how I know I was really channeling who I was channeling. I knew everything I was channeling was real. At that point, I was just like, man, I'm blown away. It's crazy. But yeah. So yeah, I was channeling various ETs. I've had various visitors when I was over there, that property. I had visitors, astral projection visitors. I've seen a feline face. It was a male. I could tell he was a male because he looked like a male lion, the face, and then he had the body, like a human body, kind of, but he was covered in fur. And then, and I've seen the Zeta Greys. I've communicated to some of the Greys, and I've communicated to various ones. I've seen Octurians. I've seen golden beings, and then I've seen not so nice beings. I saw some that I refer to as watchers. Like, their job literally is to watch the universe and scan and continuously watch over places, certain specific places. Like, picture a UFO, right? Picture it hovering out there in space, just stationed in a certain area, and then being able to telepathically scan continuously and watch out for any type of hostile energy or activity, right? Well, when I was astral projecting, I encountered this being telepathically, and he had like yellow eyes, and I got the sense that he was on duty, He was watching. He was there to watch what was going on, making sure nothing bad was happening. But yeah, I've met some not so nice ones. I was listening to this frequency music that was called DMT Alien. I don't smoke DMT, guys. I don't smoke. I don't drink. But I was listening to this frequency. I didn't even know what DMT was. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, because I like to listen to frequency music for Ascension. For activating my light body. Working on my chakras. I tried listening to frequency music to heal migraines and stuff. And I just saw this one. It was called DMT Alien, and I was like, well, I'm gonna listen to this, right? See what this is about. And then, yeah, it made me lucid. It made me very lucid. And then I was able to really astral project to other places, and I came across these ETs, and they were trying to show me spiders, trying to scare me and stuff. And I was just really happy. I was giddy. I was like, oh my God. I was just like ball of light. I wanted to talk to these ETs, and I could tell they were annoyed with me. And then they were trying to scare me. Like they thought I was going to get scared or something. Like they were expecting me to be scared. And then they were showing me like spiders and stuff. And I was like, why are you showing me spiders? You know, I'm not scared of spiders. You know, I was telling her, I was like, I don't know why you're doing that. And then I was just like, I was dancing up there, and I was doing all kinds of crazy shit. I was just high on cloud 9. And then when I had calmed down, I stopped astral projecting, and then they were like, I guess it took me a minute to realize that they thought I was on a drug. They thought I was on a drug, and they thought that I was going to trip out or something. It was until I researched what DMT was. I was like, what is DMT? I don't know why I felt guided to look up DMT. What is DMT, right? And I looked it up, and I was like, oh my God, this is a psychedelic drug. And then a lot of people say that they oftentimes experience seeing spiders and aliens and stuff. And that's the number one reason why they use it as a recreational drug. And I was just like, okay, this is why they were irritated with me, and that's why they were trying to scare me with spiders. I was like, okay. Now I went back. After that, I astral projected back to the same space. I was like, look, if I annoyed you guys, I'm sorry. I was not on a drug. I didn't even know what DMT was. I was listening to frequency music, and I showed them. I was like, my phone. I was showing them my device, and I was like, this is my device, okay? And it's playing a sound frequency that's called DMT Alien. And I was like, I didn't know what it was. I was just trying it, and it made me feel really high and giddy. And then they were like, you know, I was apologizing if I seemed kind of crazy. I was like, well, I didn't know that this is what it was supposed to do to me. Make me feel really crazy or trippy or happy, you know, cloud 9. And then they were just trying to like, well, if you're way up there, you're going to encounter these ETs, right? And then like they're going to be annoyed with you because they think that you're not contacting them in a serious way. Like I got this like vibe that they were upset that a lot of people were using psychedelics to trip out to see aliens. Like they're almost offended that you would utilize a drug just to play around with, and then just like, oh, like there's an alien, you know. But like they want to be treated with respect, you know. They want to be treated like they're human, you know, not like human, but like how we respect each other, you know, like, oh, that's a being, a namaste, that's another being, I respect you. They want to be treated that way. They don't want you to just go out there and be like, I'm on a drug and I'm going to trip out. You know, they don't like that energy. They don't like that intention. They don't like that at all. It's not funny to them. Like, they're very serious. They want to be treated seriously, and it's just like, I can understand why they're pissed off, you know, to be honest. Or agitated a little. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, I've had some experiences like that, and that wasn't pleasant, but anyway. I've talked to various ETs. I've often seen them. I've actually seen their eyes. Like sometimes, like in my bedroom, like they have ability to cloak themselves. If they're astral projecting to your space, like you can't see them with your eyes, unless you're like really tuned into that type of clairvoyance. But anyway, I had my lights off, and I had my phone on, and I had shined the screen on accident towards the corner of my room, and I saw the reflection of slanted eyes in the corner, and I knew it was a Zeta Gray that was just watching me, keeping an eye on me. Like they were studying me. I was constantly being studied. I was being touched. They were touching my toes and my legs. I often felt like they were grabbing onto my legs, trying to touch my tissue, and there were times I actually felt my etheric body being poked with needles and stuff. Like they were trying to test DNA testing on me to see what I was, where I was with my activations and my DNA and stuff. I had a feeling. And then I've had visits, not so pleasant visits, where they were trying to take, there was one that was etherically trying to go through my etheric body and take my egg, one of my eggs. I did not like that. It caused a lot of pain in my back. my left side. And yeah, I did not like that at all. But it wasn't until I researched the hybridization program and all that I realized that the only reason why they feel entitled to just take eggs and semen from people is because at the higher level we either contracted, like signed a contract for that experience, or the fact that they are especially the Zeta Grays, they're future versions of us, and that they have the technology to travel back in time or travel into the future, which that's what they did. They traveled into the future, and then were able to, or they nearly killed their whole generation via nuclear bombs. Okay, picture Zeta Grays as us, future version of us, right? Cloning, the process of cloning, right? DNA manipulation, where they came back in time to change the course of history, the course of the future, basically, because the future wasn't too great from their time. Well, the way I understand it is that they have technology to be able to travel back and forth and in time, and they explained that they are future versions of us, and that they had went wrong. They had prioritized dogma and nuclear wars and politics, and it caused a nuclear war. And it has affected them in a great way. Like, they nearly killed off their whole generation, like the whole population of humans. And then they were cloning each other to try to preserve a species, right? And then the female started not being fertile, and then that became an issue. So yeah, that's why they're doing abductions. They're taking specimen like semen and eggs. They're taking these biological DNA stuff to be able to recreate or somehow change the course of the future, and also create hybrids. So since their DNA is similar to ours, water-based, that's the only reason why we're here. That's why they're coming, and they're using our DNA. But it's something that isn't. They're trying to save their species, basically. They're trying to save themselves by using our DNA, and they're trying so hard. But they've cloned so much that it's becoming an issue. That's why all those Zeta Grays look like each other. But anyway, another thing about the Zeta Grays, I had a lucid dream where I went to this place, right? This is where the Zeta Grays are. But there's another race that they're under fealty to. Like, they have to work for this other race. So the Zeta Grays are actually the workers, the field workers. They're not actually the race that's like a. I mean, they're a race, but they're not. I'll explain it, but sorry, it's 7:07. I'm getting major downloads, but anyway, they work for another race. I'm not sure which race it is, but they look humanoid. I saw this man. He descended from a throne. There was this man that he looked human, but I knew he was E.T. I knew he was royalty just looking at him. I knew he was royalty, and he descended from a throne, and he walked up to me. I was actually the reason why I saw him is because the Zeta Grays brought me to him, because I was flipping out, because I had went to one of these the Zeta Gray places, and they have these dorms. They had the two sides to this dorm. There was males and females, and there was various types of species. And this was June 16th. I actually had about 6 weeks ahead of time warning that this event was going to take place for me, that I was going to go to this place. They told me that something's going to happen, something's scheduled for you on June 16th. That's what they told me. So they were like, this is an important day for you. And then, so I was expecting something significant to happen on that day, and it did. I know I was there. I was at their planet. I was very privileged to have visited their planet, or where they live. And I went into this building. I remember going into this building. And then there was a little Zeta Gray standing by the doorway, and he was watching outside, making sure nothing else came through the doorway, right? So I'd walk through, and the first thing I noticed was the oxygen in the room. They have technology that filters the oxygen. They have technology that literally cleans their own air. And when I inhaled, I could tangibly feel it. I could taste it. I could smell it. I could breathe it. And I was like, oh my God. And I told that little Zeta Gray telepathically, I was like, this is the most pristine oxygen I have ever tasted, is what I said. And I said it like that because that's basically what it felt like. I mean, being down here, coming from down here and having throughout my life problems with my lungs and allergies and having acute bronchitis because of shit in the air, pollen giving me allergies, and then going all the way up there to another planetary system with technology, advanced superior technology that cleans the air of gases, toxins, you name it, and nothing's left but oxygen, pure oxygen. And it's not mechanical either. It's not mechanical. It's not something that you can generate like in hospitals. It's not that either. It's literally organic oxygen, and then it's clean. It's being cleaned constantly. So they have the cleanest oxygen I have ever inhaled, and it's so tangible, so different from Earth. And I'm just like, but this is what we're supposed to have here. I mean, they have real oxygen. You know, we have gases and junk in our oxygen, and we don't even know that we're inhaling all this shit. Like, and it wasn't until I had that experience that I realized, like, oh my God, this is how oxygen's supposed to be. Anyway, that was cool. I was really excited about that. And then I was led to a dorm, and there was this man. His name was, I guess it was, I don't know, he left there was a letter on this supposed bed that was supposed to be mine in this dorm, right? And somebody had wrote me a little letter, and then they had given me all these gifts. Like, I saw a purse, I saw human things like purses and products and human, like perfumes and stuff. And then there were, on this letter, it was a handwritten letter, and it said Nick, and then it said to Amy, and then there was something else that was written there. It was written, somebody had written a letter to me and told me about the gifts that were sitting on my bed. Basically, I got this like the warmest welcome I could possibly think of. I mean, all I can remember thinking was like, well, I don't need a purse. I was like, I don't know why they're giving me purses and beauty stuff. I was like, well, I mean, I like stuff like that, but I'm not the type that goes to the store like, oh, I have to have this purse, or I have to have these expensive shit. Like, I don't really care about all that, right? I'm not really that big of a girly girl. I mean, I like makeup. I like to do my hair every now and then, but I almost never wear makeup. Like, today's a rare occasion. I almost never wear makeup. So I was a little confused. I was like, why would they give me all this girly stuff? You know? That was the question in my head. I was like, oh, that was sweet. And I was like, man, that was just so sweet. I can't believe they got me. And I've never had a guy dote on me like that at all in my life. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so sweet. I don't know who this is. I was like, who's Nick? I actually was asking them. I was like, who's Nick? Who's Nick? I was like, please tell Nick I said thank you for the gifts, you know? And then, but yeah, and then I started having further of that lucid. It was very vivid. This lucid experience was so vivid, man. It was just so detailed. Sorry. Took a cherry. It was just so vivid, you know, and I remember there was two sides of the dorm, and they were making these little organic sweets. Although it wasn't sugary. It wasn't sugar. It was just like a fruit, and then there was some other material they were making this fruit stuff with. But they were, if I could compare it to something like, you know, like those croissants with like cream or like cherry in it. What are they? I don't know. I forgot. Danishes. They're called Danishes. Sorry. Thank you, Spirit. Anyway, they were like Danishes. I compared them to Danishes. They were like little treats, but they were healthy treats. And they gave me this tray, and they told me to go give it to the other side of the dorm, right, where all the boys were. And then I went over there. I gave them their sweets, and then all of a sudden, I had this a random ET had came out from the woods on this planet, and then they were trying to take my eggs. I could feel them trying to literally take my freaking eggs, man. I was upset. I started flipping out. I was just like, I trusted you guys I didn't want none of this to happen. I started having like a kind of like a mental breakdown a little bit, I think. I literally had a weird episode there. And then I could feel myself being ported. Like, they literally pulled me to this royal figure who just descended. He literally got up from his throne and stepped down the steps. And I could hear them saying to the other ETs, this is why we don't just take from these people. And when they're aware, especially if they're trusting us, and they're using me like an example of what not to do to humans, because we go into these states where we're fight and flight instinct. And it was inevitable for me, because I had already had a weird experience with one ET that was not invited to my space and tried to take one of my eggs, and I was pissed off about it. I was like, I haven't even had my first child, and I'm pissed off. I told him, I was literally going off on these ETs in that space. And I was getting after them, and I was crying. I was traumatized because this one ET, I went over there to give them the treats. I was trying to be nice, and then this thing just comes up to me and then tries to fucking put eggs and shit or something in me. And I was just upset. I was just so upset, man. I was just so upset. And then they didn't intend for that to happen. They did not intend for that to happen. It was just the disparity of that specific ET. I guess that there's some ETs out there that are having trouble finding females, or having trouble having fertile females. And it took me a minute to realize that's probably the reason why he just put shit in my body, without even thinking about it, because they're so desperate for the females, and that's why they love Earth women. Okay, they love us women. We're so fertile. We're so fertile. We have beautiful conceptions, they want, and we're beautiful, we're holy, we're like temples to them, we're like precious, like a precious resource of all life. Out there, they respect and honor females, because the female is the capacity to birth another life, to continue on, right? We're the creators of the universe, we're the mothers of the universe. We created everything, so they have a deep appreciation and honor for us, and they hold us sacredly, and they want us to be here. They need us. That's why they came up with this hybridization program, and so they continue on their ET, specifically ET genetics, right? There's something special about every ET out there, okay? They all have an advancement. I can't say that all of them are nice and friendly to us, but there are some out there that are very loving, compassionate towards us, and some of them that really need us. They need our help. They need a collaboration with us. So it's very important for. Oh my God! I just heard a bloop. But yeah, they need us. They need us, and we need them. So it goes both ways. So I don't try to implant fear, anything fear related. I don't want to implant that into anybody. Fear is just the state of disempowerment, and I don't want you all to think that that's okay. That's the state we need to be in. There's no reason for that. There's things that are happening, like abductions and stuff. All this is happening because they need our help. They need help, okay? They need genetic material, okay? And they also want to help us, and specifically the positive group of Anunnakis, the ones that left planet Earth. I saw a message, an authentic message from the king is what it was titled. And it's by Wes Perry. I can't say his name. But basically this Anunnaki king, his name is Utu. And he apologized for the crimes and stuff that had happened in the past from the other generations of Anunnakis. And he doesn't want any harm to happen to Lulas, is what he said. Lulas is humans, is their term for humans. And so I'm positive that these wars that are going on is because the Anunnaki, the creators of humans, are going against the negative ones that are in the planet behind the government and stuff. Okay? They're battling for there's other ETs that are trying to assist humanity, like the Ashatar Galactic Federation of Lights. They want to help. They want to help us. They want us to stay alive. They don't want us to succumb to being controlled forever. You know, they want us to step into our empowerment. They want us to ascend. They want us to evolve as a species into a higher plane of consciousness. You know, and this whole thing about the ascension, let me go and just brush over this a little bit, because a lot of you have a lot of misconceptions about what the ascension is, okay? The ascension process is a consciousness shift. It is not a literal, like, get out of my body time. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to evolve, and then I'm going to evaporate into thin air. It's nothing like that at all. Okay, and the torchbearer mission of twin flames, whatever you're reading out there on the internet, please discard it, okay? A lot of it's been twisted. A lot of it's been made to keep you on a matrix loop. That's another thing I need to go over, is the matrix loops for twin flames. I'm going to go over that in just a second. But, basically, the ascension process is a shift in the consciousness, okay? There is no evaporating into thin air and then combusting or becoming another person, another being, and then going to another dimension. That's the 5D. I'm going to go ahead and explain to you. I'm going to give you a perfect example of what the 5D is and how it's already here. Okay, it's been here. Okay, there is no, oh, we're shifting into 5D. No, we're already in 5D. Okay, it's literally overlapping third dimension right now. Literally, we're literally in third dimension, and then the 5D is like right on top of that. Okay, 4D is dream space, astral planes when you're asleep. That is fourth dimension. Okay, you cannot be awake and be like, oh, I'm in the fourth dimension. Doesn't make any sense, guys. No, that's not what that is. Okay, fourth density is not anything awake. Fourth density is the astral plane, dream space. Okay, everybody astral projects at night when they go to sleep. Everybody, whether you remember doing it or not, everybody does. It's a natural thing for everything. And yeah, it's natural. You're always in the 4D when you're sleeping. It's that simple. And okay, perfect example of 5D. This is the 5D shift that we're supposed to be in right now. We're in right now, and 5D is not the limit for us. Okay, we can tap into 6D, 7D, 8D, however many steps we're going to go up. There is no limit into the dimensional shift that we can undertake. So this whole thing about, oh, we're shifting from 3D to 5D only, that's not true. You can tap into a 7D and other dimensions as well, whenever. If you evolved enough, you can do it. There's no limit on that. But fifth dimension, I want you guys to visualize something here. Picture a lemon in your hand, right? Close your eyes, visualize a lemon in your hand. Okay? And then I want you to take a bite of that lemon. Okay, so bite the lemon. I want you to be aware of if you feel like you're tasting the lemon, right? Are you tasting the lemon that you just bit? Visualized and bit? I mean, if you're feeling that, if you're tasting the lemon, it's sour, your mouth waters, your body reacts to that, right? My mouth just watered just thinking about it. Literally, that's the fifth dimension. Literally. Literally, that's the fifth dimension. It's in the now. It's like 3D and 5D are like almost the same thing, except 5D is like you're using your third eye to activate and to interact in the 5D. Okay? 5D is already here. There is no moving up, okay? There's no like, oh, we're shifting into 5D. No, we're already here in 5D, okay? New Earth's already been integrated into the grid line. We're already being able to interact 5D. Okay, so that explains a little bit. But twin flames, I know a lot of people will say twin flames are they're very telepathic with each other, and they do this, they finish each other's sentences, da 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 da. This is all twin flame. Let me just slow down here, because that is the biggest misconception anybody can say to you. Telepathy is a universal language. I want you guys to know that. Telepathy is a universal language. It is not specific to twin flames. My sister, who is not related to me at all, blood-wise, I met her in foster care. She is very telepathic with me. She finishes my sentences. Does that mean that she's my twin? No, she's not my twin flame. I know who my twin flame is. Okay, I know who he is. His name's James. He lives in Honduras. He's working in a third world country, building pipelines. I feel him eat, drink. I feel him use the bathroom. I feel him fart. Like, he's literally a second. Sorry, but it's true. I could feel him across the distance. Like, I have a second body somewhere. Is that telepathy? No. That's just sharing etheric bodies. That's sharing the astral bodies, sharing all bodies, mental, emotional bodies. Twin flames are literally one and the same in two different bodies if they're incarnated together. And that's what it's like. I can feel him open his car door. I can feel him pick up his phone. There's been times where he's turned on his phone's flashlight and I knew that he was using as a flashlight for his car seat. Like, little things like that come to me. I felt him brush his teeth with an electric toothbrush in the morning. I remember this one morning I was asleep. I was like lucid, kind of. And all of a sudden I started feeling somebody using electric toothbrush on my teeth. And I was like, took me a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I'm not awake. And I'm definitely not brushing my teeth. And I definitely don't have an electric toothbrush. I've never had one. So, like, oh yeah, I realized, like, oh, it's my twin. It's my twin brushing his teeth. That's what it was. But anyway, that's the type of shit that happens between twins, okay? There is no, like, oh, finishing sentences and reading each other's minds and all this shit. You can do that with anybody. You can do that with an ET. You can do that with an animal. It's not twin flame specific. And I want you guys to stop relying on the shit on the internet for twin flame information, okay? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's made to get you trapped and stuck. A lot of girls, especially a lot of women, are literally in the waiting stasis mentality of, oh, I'm going to wait till he gets out of his karmic situation. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to sit here and wait for him because I love him and I miss him and I want to support him. So I'm just going to sit here and work on myself. Da 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 da. You know, first of all, are you or are you not twin flames? Are you or are you not the same soul in two different bodies? Can I ask you that question? Why would your twin be in a karmic situation and you not be in a karmic situation? You know, why would you be single and him be in a relationship? If you have all these feelings and love and one desire to be together with your twin, why wouldn't your twin not want the same thing if he was you in the second body? If you, guys, think about it. You evolve at the same time. You're the same soul in two different bodies. There is no catching up. There is no runner-chaser dynamic. There is no one twin's awake and one's not. That is not genuine twin flame relationship. That is not anything related to twin flames. That is karmic. That is either karmics or soulmates or people that you're just obsessed with, you know. I've been there, done that myself, okay? I used to think this guy was my twin. Believe me, I saw the synchronicities. I saw the signs, saw his birthday all the time. My cousin's birthday was his birthday. My step-aunt's birthday was his birthday. I had all these signs and pointers to direct me at this man. And I encountered him several times throughout my life. Because he lives in Texas. And let me just tell you something that, to be honest, the guy never acknowledged me, never shared anything remotely related to any of my dream spaces. I thought I was having dream spaces with him, right? I thought we were sharing dreams. I thought we were sharing thoughts and stuff. I literally got caught up in that mentality that, oh, he loves me, he's just not open about it. Oh, he's a man, he's going to express his love differently, da 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 da. No, first of all, if you're an awakened woman, you have balance between masculine and feminine energy, right? If you're a twin flame, you have both energies that are equally balanced already installed in you. And then your masculine counterpart, or complement, I should say, not counterpart, but complement, has both feminine and masculine energy installed and is balanced. So there is no embodying more masculine energy or more feminine energy, unless that is specific. If that is specific to you, like let's say there's a lesbian couple or gay couple, I can understand there being more masculine one and more feminine energy in the other. But the truth is that just because they're a man doesn't mean they're not gonna acknowledge the love that they feel for you. I know that men have been programmed to be that way, but I can guarantee you that whatever bullshit scenario you're thinking of, like, oh, this is why he's not communicating to me, this is why, or you're trying to give excuses for his shitty behavior, basically, and treating yourself like a welcome mat, and putting Pampers on the divine masculine, or supposedly divine masculine, putting Pampers on him and treating him like a baby, and then neglecting yourself. How does that empower you, and how does that attract to your twin? The fact that you're attached to somebody who doesn't acknowledge the same exact experiences that you have, which he should if he's your true twin. The fact that he's blowing off your messages or ghosting you or going into separation phase, whatever excuse that you have come up with in your head for the shitty behavior, I want you to discard that, and I really want you to take a really good look at yourself and examine the situation. I want you to think, if I could create a man for me at the higher level, would I create a man to ignore me? Why would I create a man to ignore how I feel, ignore my messages? Would I create a man to not be romantic with me? Would I create a man to look at other women and date other women, but be connected to me? Would I do that to myself? If I love myself, the higher self, being in the body, the full embodiment, the pureness of that, why on earth would I create a man for me that would ignore me, deny me, or not share the same dreams and experiences with me, the same draw to me, the same energy, the reciprocation of that? Like, why wouldn't I? If I'm okay, think about your embodiment right now. Are you seeking out masculine? Are you seeking out the masculine energy? Are you seeking out to be kissed, made love to? Are you seeking out to be held, doted on, treated like a princess, queen, what have you, to be acknowledged and heard? Are you seeking that out? If you're seeking that out, then you're masculine seeking out the feminine version of that. I'm getting goosebumps, it's confirmation. I mean, come on, guys. If you have a man in your life that you think is your twin, or you've gotten all the signs, synchronicities the universe gives you, that this is your twin, the dreams, shared dreams, or supposedly dream states, having dreams about them, finishing each other's sentences, like, I want you to come across this topic as like a true skeptic of this person. I want you to look at it from the perspective of the skeptic. We're the mass of the skeptic for a minute, okay? I don't think this is my twin. I need some proof. I need some real evidence this is my twin, right? That's what you're doing, right? You're looking outside of yourself for signs, symbols, and things to indicate that your twin is your twin, right? But why isn't your twin acknowledging you? Why isn't he telling you that he has the same dream that you had last night? Why isn't he telling you that he feels you like you're feeling him? Why isn't he leaving? Why wouldn't he leave his spouse, his family, and all that, or not family, but his spouse, karmic, for you, if he was your twin? Twins are catalysts for each other. When they hit each other, two forces collide. Bam! Guess what? That force collides and it bounces and mirrors back, right? What happens in our lives when we meet our twin? Our life falls apart. Breakups happen. Karmics dissipate. They leave. We lose our jobs. These are all blessings in disguise. This is all dismantling of things that are keeping you entrapped, right? Things that are preventing you from getting in union, or physical being fully in union, right? And then now, things that don't serve you, that aren't who you are, it's gonna ripple effect into your life. There is no, there's a dark night of the soul, yeah, but there's no twin flame. Where's the twin flame that everybody says is your twin, right? If he's your twin, he would acknowledge you. He would acknowledge the same feelings, emotions. He would verbalize the same things you're verbalizing. He would tell you about the dreams that he's having with you. He wouldn't hold it back. He would feel just as drawn to you as you are to him. And if you're wanting a relationship or something with him, he's gonna want to be there and be in a relationship with you too, because you're sharing the same feelings, emotions. You're the same embodiment in two bodies. That is the twin. That is the true union. That is the true twin couple. Okay, there is no runner-chaser dynamic. There is no completing karma first and then getting into union. There's none of that crap. Okay, yeah, there's obstacles to union. Yeah, but there's not there. The twin doesn't consciously keep those obstacles in place. You know what I'm saying? The true twin will break walls for you. The true twin will break through obstacles for you. Because what you seek is seeking you, okay? What you really wants you. And that's that perfect embodiment. Like, your twin flame is supposed to worship you at your feet. He's going to be like, you are the woman I want. You have everything that I want and need in my life. I'm going to die for you. I'm going to go for you. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get there. That is the energy of a true union, of a true divine masculine. And I previously tried to bring this into awareness of a community that I was in, and I got reprimanded for it. Man, did I get reprimanded for it. Nobody wanted to hear that. Because you know what? They were so enwrapped with these things that they were taught and they were reading. All these readers, these false prophets. What if I told you that you don't need readers to tell you what the fuck's going on in your life? You know, you're basically like, if you go to a reader and you're like, please predict my future. You're basically like, here, take the reins to my future and decide things for me, what you think I need for my life. That's what you're doing when you go to readers. And they tell you, oh, this and this is going to happen, da-da-da-da-da. Like, okay, you're basically telling them to go ahead and manifest whatever they think that you need for you in your life. Because they have the energy, right? You gave them the reins to do that. You can decide your own life. You can create your own life, right? You can create your own future consciously. You're like, okay, I want $1 million. And you go to a reader. You're like, am I gonna have $1 million? I mean, they could try that for you. Like, okay, yeah, you're gonna have $1 million in 2 years. And then when it doesn't happen, you're like, okay, that reader is a false prophet. That lady is just lying to me. I paid for that reading for nothing. No, you fell into the trap of disempowerment. You fell into the trap of giving your power away to co-create with the universe what you want. Okay? And I voiced this, by the way, I voiced this into another group. I said that you don't need readers. Nobody needs readers. Nobody does. It's another market. It's just another market. And I know that if you're as evolved as you think you are, some readers, and you're taking advantage of the fact that people need you to read them. You know, if you're really evolved, you know that they can use their own skill sets to predict or whatever, get information, insight, connect to source, loved ones, deceased loved ones, their twin flame, you name it. You know, you could just give them the tools to do it for themselves, you know. Like, they don't need you to do that. You're taking advantage of the fact that they're not in their empowerment. You're making money off their energy. This is why I am not a supporter of readers that are charging you a fortune to read you. That's why I always do free readings. And I get that there's a even exchange that they think that has to happen energetically because money's energy. Yeah, it's energy. But the fact that you could just sit there, I mean, you could get paid to give them the tools to do it for themselves, right? If that's what you want to do, if you want to make money off of people for this market. But that sounds very shitty, doesn't it? Why take advantage? Why take advantage of the fact that people don't know how to read themselves or help tap into their own intuition, tap into God's source energy and find out information for themselves? Like, why take advantage of that? If you're a light worker and if your mission here is to help humanity, you need to do it without any condition, without any expectation. You need to do it. Give the power back to those people. Teach them self-empowerment. Don't sit there and be like, since you don't have the gifts, I'm going to do it for you. And then these people are like, here's the reins. Predict my future. Tell me what's going to happen to me with my twin. Oh, your twin's going to get with a karmic. And your twin's going to have children. And then you're going to be waiting. You're basically telling the reader to predict that for you, right? Reader tell you, oh, this is what I channeled. This is what they told me. Who told you that? Who the fuck told you that? If you're really connecting to positive beings to channel information, why would they do that? If they were genuinely trying to help you channel information for those people. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. As aware as I am, you know, the fact that I know how this energy works and I know how it works in the universe, the fact that you can co-create everything in your existence right now by thinking about it, visualizing it, speaking it to existence, writing it down, manifestation of it. You know, the fact that you can tell God, I want this. God's going to tell you, yes, you can have that. Yes. God's not going to say, oh, no, your twin's going to get in a karmic relationship first. And he's going to have to conclude his karma first before he can come to you. That's baloney. Baloney. If you want union and you're asking God, can you please deliver union to me? Can you please help me? Or can you somehow help me, send me a reader to tell me what's going to happen? Like, how is that helping you? How does that help you or help anybody to begin with? Your twin flame is separated from you because you're still in disempowerment. Your twin flame is still separated from you because you're consciously believing that he has to conclude karma. He has to get somebody pregnant first. And then he has to leave that karmic partner in that marriage first. And then he's going to come be with you. Or something. And then you're like indefinitely waiting. Trust me, I've been there. I waited 4 years for a fucking false twin. Let me just tell you that. I waited 4 years. And that was a complete waste of my time. Well, I'm thankful I waited because I was no longer sexually active or anything. I was able to get my vibration high enough. I was thankful for that false twin experience because it was also enlightening and shine light on things that were a problem in the community. And still are a problem. I know there's some people out there telling you that they're diagnosing twin flame energy, right? Yeah, if you're a twin flame, you can kind of feel if that's a twin flame energy, right? But you know what? Nobody knows for sure. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I can sit here and be like, well, I can tap into you and I can feel twin flame energy, right? I can feel twin flame energy. I can feel union energy. I can see it. Everybody that's in union energy glows. Like, they glow to me for some reason. So I can tell when they have a twin complement somewhere. Because they're energetically sharing that positive energy and supporting each other at that level. And they're helping rejuvenate them. You can tell in their skin tones. Skin tones look so bright and luminous. And everybody looks so healthy when they're in twin flame energy, right? And there's some people who have come to me and they were just like, well, is this my twin? Da da da. Like, I can look at a picture and I can totally tune into that. You know, I could feel twin flame energy. I can't tell you exactly if that's your twin flame or not. But I can tell you if I'm feeling twin flame energy. There are some cases where I have been able to really see if it was an actual twin because they resemble each other so much in energy that I know for damn sure that they were twins. But there are some cases where there's like a big question mark over it. And I'm just like, well, I can't predict I can't predict things for you. I actually told a lot of these people that have done that I had done readings for. I was like, look, I can give you insight into your situation, but I can't predict things for you. I'm not going to tell you, like, 2 years from now, your twin is going to come to you. I can't say that to you because I would be taking your power away from you and creating your future for you. And I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that to you? Right? Why would I want to make money off of you, off of your helplessness? If I was a good humanitarian and I wanted to help humanity as a whole and help people ascend or consciously expand, I would be teaching them to do it for themselves, right? Self-empowerment. Why would I sit here and continue on the same deceit and bullshit that all these other readers are doing and call it a twin flame mission? It just makes me frustrated. How many people have gone to readers? How many people have gone to readers for twin flame information, right? And how, when they're going to be reunited and all this. That is the biggest mistake you're going to make with your life. I can tell you. You're going to be waiting forever if you keep asking and seeking out other people to give you the answers. You want to know what's going on, tap into your own intuition, unlock it. There's ways to do it. Go on YouTube, listen to Third Eye Activation. Or if you want to learn astral projection, go on YouTube, listen to astral projection music, frequency music, meditation music for sleep and astral projection. You know, whatever it is you seek, you can search for it in frequency music. You know, you want to tap into your ability to do Reiki healing. Research how do Reiki healers use their gifts. Like, you can mimic, you can do everything that anybody's doing. Everybody has these gifts pre-installed. You can just have to activate them. So I'm not going to be one of those readers and tells you that your situation's helpless because you don't know how to channel, you don't know how to do this and that. I'm going to tell you that you can unlock that, you can activate it, and you can do it for yourself. You don't need to pay a fortune to a reader to tell you what's going to happen in your life. And you don't need them to do that. Only you know what's best for you, right? Nobody else on this planet knows what it's like to be in your shoes. Nobody else knows what it's like to be you. Only you. You know what you need, what you desire, what you want, what's a necessity, what type of situation would be ideal for you. Only you know what that is. You can connect to the divine and say, divine, please help me manifest this. Please help me create this life for myself. Please help me create a beautiful union for myself. You know, tell divine, I don't want to go through this karmic stuff. I don't want to be involved with karmics. Please keep them away from me and my twin. You're basically telling divine, I want to subscribe to a different type of contract with my twin. I don't want to deal with karmics. And then you could be like, well, divine, I conclude all my karma. If I have any karma, I conclude it now. I understand that I had karma and I can conclude it now. I want to be free of that. Be conscious of being able to free yourself from that stuff. At any point, you can cancel soul contracts at any point. You don't have to do things. Things are not set in stone, okay? Future is always changing. Just like the universe, whatever, readers can't fucking predict, excuse my language, but they can't tell you that you're going to be in your union 2 years from now. They can't tell you that because it might be longer than that. It might be shorter than that. You don't know because, I mean, depends on you, right? It depends on your ability to consciously manifest that. It's that easy. It really is. I mean, there's obviously obstacles, right? For example, my twin lives way across the border. He's got to get paperwork. He's got to get all that practical stuff underway. But he's not in a relationship, and he knows that I don't want him to be in one. He knows that I don't want him to be married. He knows that I don't want to be involved with his karmics. I don't want there to be threesomes. I don't want there to be awkward triangles or triplets, whatever. I don't even want to say whatever. Polymorphous. He knows my preferences. I'm monogamous. I'm singular. I'm good being single right now. I don't want to be with anybody but my twin, and he doesn't want to be with anybody but his twin, right? Even if we have to wait. I mean, because we have to wait for practicalities to fall into place, right? He's over there in border. He's in a third world country, doing a lot of his work, building pipes for a third world country that doesn't have pipes. In a way, he's contributing to humanity, right? He's doing his light work. He's doing what he needs to do. And here I am. I'm helping. I'm doing what I need to do. I mean, we're always in union and energy. There's no real separation. Time and space doesn't separate us, right? That is very true. And why would he get involved with the karmic if I'm not going to get involved with the karmic, right? Girls and guys, it applies both ways in various situations, okay? Don't buy into the twin flame community shit, okay? Just stop subscribing to that crap. If they're your twin, they would not be married. If they're your twin, and you're, let's say you're not married and they're married, they're probably not your twin. You know? Because twin flames often, they go through the same things, like similar things around the same time, kind of. They mirror each other in their lives. I mean, my twin, I haven't had any kids. I mean, I have animal kids. But I haven't had to deal with having pregnancies with karmics. Because I avoided it. I consciously chose not to get involved with that. I'm sorry, my cats are playing. They're fighting. My kitten over here tries to bully one of my cats. But my twin had 2 children from a previous marriage. At the time, he wasn't awakened, though. I mean, I wasn't awakened at the time he had these kids. So, I mean, how was he supposed to know? He was older than me. He's older than me. He's 30 years old. I'm 24. He's 6 years older than me. So, yeah. But he's already divorced. As soon as he discovered me, inside of him, he divorced. He realized he had those light bulbs go off when I was going through all my ascension, things. And I started having awareness expanding. He realized that I have a beautiful complement out there. And I'm stuck with this karmic who I had children with. I'm going to leave this karmic because I really feel drawn to my beautiful complement, my soul. I feel drawn to my own soul who's calling to me. I'm going to go. I'm going to leave everything that is bothering her because I don't want her to be unhappy. That is the mentality of my twin. He shares the same respect for me as I do for him. And he knows that what I want. He knows what I want. And he respects it. And he's going to do he's going to shape his life the way he needs to help support that. That's what twin flames do. They do that naturally. There's no divine masculine choose to stay in marriage because he doesn't want to break up his family. No, because he loves me. But he won't leave his karmic because it's going to cause financial problems. Whatever excuse. If he's your twin, he's going to drop everything for you. Just saying. Anyway. Not drop everything, but you know what I'm saying. If there's a way for him to get to you, he's going to go to you. He's not going to let anything get in the way. They're forces of nature's twins. Okay. So, twin flame matrix. That is exactly what that is. Falling into the traps of waiting for union, being told that you need to hold space for union. I hold space for union. I'm cool with that. I hold space for it. I might not be in union physically, but I'm in union energy, right? I'm still in union. I'm holding space for the union. I'm holding on to it. I'm not going to get involved with anybody. I say no to everybody that comes at me and offers me, hey, I think you're gorgeous. There have been some guys that just want to have sex with me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm not available. But that's my choice. I choose to do that. My twin does that. The same thing. So it's just like, we mirror each other. That's what twin flames do. Anyway. Twin Flame Matrix is in many, many, many twin flame communities, and I really want to expose that, guys. It's important. It's important to expose this because I know a lot of you are going to have major activations with me. I did some free readings for people. I did read some things about them, and I gave them some insight about their situation, yes. And I've had various people tell me that they felt activated just encountering me in a group. They had tingles talking to me. They could feel their chakras lighting up just talking to me over the phone. And I had major downloads, and then for the days following, they had major downloads and revelations that, like, boom, 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 like, big bang, explosion of consciousness opened up just talking to me. And that's how you know that you're really interacting with something that's really there to activate you, there to open you up. Yeah. Somebody said sacred goddess. But goddess energy. Anyway, I don't expect anything from anybody. I don't expect to be paid for readings. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good to help people. I want to help people out of just the generosity of my heart, because it makes me feel good. I don't need to make money. I don't have any money right now, by the way. I'm still doing fine. The universe still provides for me. I just moved with like 20. I didn't even have money. I had $29 for groceries, and that was all I had. And I had to move, and the universe made way for me, right? I got fired. I had that situation where I was getting, after I did all those readings for all those people, I did about 125 people, and then I had all those psychic attacks. I was lighting up the planet so damn fast from just talking to all, you know, and those dark forces thought I was a threat, and they all came at me. And I had to take I'd literally take like good 2.5 weeks off. I couldn't even finish reading for some of you. I'm gonna catch up on that, but I just wanted to get this video out because it's very important that I did. And I was pissed. I was pissed that they actually started interfering with my technology, these nasty forces. They knew what I was about to talk about was very big activations for many of you. So, I just want to bring it to your awareness, you know, guys, like, there's so much stuff going on right now, and the dreams are real, okay? You're having space war dreams. That means, okay, you're having real revelations of something that is taking place, okay? That is very important. And these UFOs that are showing up, they're here to help us, okay, guys? They're here to help us. They're here to secure our safety. I actually had Channel 1 ET, and they told me that there's 10 groups of them that are here, and they're here to assist humanity, and they're trying to, they're testing the air, because there's some dark ETs that are trying to poison the air. They're putting chemicals in the air, causing problems with the weather. The chemtrails, I think a lot of you know about that stuff. And they're here to help us, protect us, because there's wars going on right now, and at any point they could try to do a genocide, and that's why they're here. We're conducting security measures for humanity as we're still transitioning, because there's already been threats. I've already reported all the shit that I was picking up, okay? I've already reported to some of the councils and stuff, important people, the authorities, the proper authorities. I've already reported the shit that I was hearing from some of these negative astral projecting people. I've already reported it, and so they know what's going on. Yeah, they were literally trying to be all cocky and brag about how they're going to do a genocide on twin flames and stuff. They were trying to say, oh, we're prepping for it. We're going to do a mass genocide, da-da-da. And I was like, you know what, thanks for telling me. Thanks for telling me. Now I can go tell the proper authorities, you know. So I did. I mean, they're just helping me. They're just helping me to help humanity. And I think they realize that. Anyway. They're stupid. These ETs, like, we're going through a transitioning. Yeah, I mean, they look at us like we're stupid. They look at us like we're dumb. We're gonna believe everything that's said on the news and stuff. But there's some of us that are like, no, that's not true. For example, the UFOs, they were trying to say over here, I literally heard through a grapevine that the news had covered the UFOs, and they said these aren't UFOs, they're comets. Comets don't hover. Comets don't bloop out. They don't just stay in one spot and then turn off. Comets go at an angle. They fast. You know, they go at a diagonal. They travel past us. No, what we're seeing are UFOs. And then I just saw something today, I think it was. The news was trying to say, because there was this big major sightings. There was a major sighting somewhere, I think it was San Diego or something. And there was this giant series of lights. And then the news tried to say, oh, those are just flares. Those are military test flares. The lights were just sitting there. Flares, they go up and then they fall down. Gravity. Oh my God, people. How many people do you think believe that shit? I'm sorry. It just makes me mad. Okay, but anyway, just do your best, guys, to discern information you're reading. Don't immediately buy into things that you're being told, okay? Especially from readers. I'm not here to tell you not to trust readers. I mean, there's some real genuine readers out there, okay? But there's some that will tell you, they'll be quick to diagnose your situation, be like, oh yeah, that's a twin. Actually, I'm struggling with a situation like that right now. There's an energy that's attached to me. Apparently, she had talked to a reader. I know this reader. Personally, I had a very negative experience with her and her group. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to disclose her identity. But she claims to channel Archangel Michael. I know she doesn't, because for damn fact that the shit that she's channeling and the fact that she attacked me at a higher level. She's literally tried to attack me. Fifth density, or like when I was in astral plane too. She's tried to attack me. She came at me like she was going to fight me. Because she thought, she perceived me at the earth level that I was an evil entity, that I was evil. And I'm clearly not. I don't have anything to gain from deceiving anybody. Why would I tell you all this? To lie to you? How does it benefit me? You know? The thing is, the reason why she attacked me, or why she felt threatened by me, is because I voiced in her group about the disempowerment mentality and the fact that she was encouraging it by telling these ladies that they needed to wait for union, this and that. She felt threatened by that. Because I was voicing things in her group, and I was getting a lot of attention from those people, and that she was planning on making profits, right? She's going to read all those people and make some real good money. And I told her, I was telling these people that you don't need to ask readers to channel for you. You can do it yourself. You can do it. You can teach yourself to channel. You don't need tarot cards. You don't need tools like that. You can just channel, meditate. Meditate and then ask divine to help guide you through that experience. How do you expand that? How do you expand yourself in that way? Ask divine to help you unlock your third eye and your crown. Ask divine to help you unlock Reiki healing. You know, whatever it is you're drawn to, you want to learn. You have that available to you. You can learn at any point. You don't need to rely on others to tell you what's going on. You don't need to rely on others to gain insight to what's going on with your twin. Ask the divine. Divine, please give me a recollection of what's going on with my twin. Please tell me what's happening. Please open my crown. Help me open my third eye so that I can understand what's happening. Please balance my heart chakra so that I can talk to my twin through my heart. You know? And please don't be so quick to buy into shit. There was some lady that had beseeched this reader that had an issue with me and got me kicked. She kicked me out of that group, by the way. I got kicked and blocked from that group because I was such a threat to her by teaching self-empowerment to these ladies and telling them they should not be treating themselves like doormat. She went on and made a second video. She was like, I don't like the fact people are bashing divine masculine, da-da-da. And I wasn't even bashing. What I was saying was my false twin was a douchebag. And my real twin isn't going to be a douchebag to me, right? I was blunt. I was really blunt about it, too. I mean, I was being open and I was being encouraging to those ladies. I was trying to tell them, hey, if that man that you think is your twin is sitting there ignoring you, acting like you don't exist, that he doesn't tell you that you're his twin too, or he doesn't feel like you are, or he's denying you, or he's blowing you off, ghosting you, not sharing the same shit that you're feeling and experiencing, that right there should be a very big warning that is potentially, definitely, actually, not potentially, but definitely a false twin. And I was trying to encourage those ladies that they needed to get out of this mentality of self and disempowerment, of the waiting, the welcome mat mentality, putting pampers on the divine masculine, that type of thing. The fact that I was voicing that to encourage these ladies to love themselves more than the fact that these people, these guys were ignoring them and treating them like nothing, like they weren't important. You know, the fact that I was encouraging them not to let that affect them mentally, and to love themselves no matter what, and to be open to the idea of that not being their twin. You know, the fact that I was doing that, and that lady found it threatening, because who knows how many people she's already read for, right? She's probably having a recollection of, oh my God, I read for these people, and I told them that their twin's just busy with the karmic, da-da-da. Like, I think she realized that what I was talking about was truth. I think she realized that, and then she saw that as a threat, because she's not going to make money off of these people, right? So yeah, I got kicked, I got blocked from that group, and then she tried to attack me at a higher level, and then the one time, this energy that attached herself to me, that is apart from this reader, who was beseeched this reader, was told that my twin, that's connected to me, is her twin. So I've been getting harassed, even touched by this woman who's attached to me metaphysically. She's not my twin, and she's definitely not my twin's complement. Okay? She is able to navigate the fifth density and be able to interact with things beyond herself, physical vessel, but that does not indicate a twin flame relationship. I can sit here and touch one of you guys on the head with my hand, metaphysically, and you're not my twin. Like, the fact that this lady was told that the telepathy, the messages coming through the third eye, was her twin, and now she's attached to me. Like, almost every time that she's tried to connect to her supposed twin, she's touched me. She tries kissing him, and she kisses me. It's disgusting. I'm just, ugh. It's because that reader told her that. It's caused a big problem for me, by the way. I can't eat. I can't take a shit. I can't go pee. I can't drive in a car. I can't be in a car. I can't go shopping while her trying to touch me and think that she's touching her twin. You know, and it bugs me. The fact that she came across my energy in etheric field and then heard me and thought I was a masculine, or thought I was somebody that she was supposed to be talking to. And then she heard the words twin flames along the way, because I was probably reading about something, and she was being able to read my mind. She literally attuned herself to my energy so much that she was hearing my environment and stuff, and she was spying on me. I've literally had dreams of her stalking me. I've literally had lucid experiences of her stalking me and laughing at me and, like, listening to me, and then trying to talk to my twin. And then I had my twin come through, and he's like, Amy, don't worry about it. Okay, because I'm not sitting here interacting with her. I'm not reciprocating anything to her. He told me that. He's like, because I've had points in I had breakdowns because I was so upset by the fact that this woman sitting here trying to attach herself to my union energy. And I have felt drained. Believe me, every time she's tried to do something with my twin, or tried to, but it wasn't going to him, it was going to me. She was draining me, siphoning energy off of me, my union energy, and it pissed me off so much. But my twin had to come in several times to reassure me that he's not encouraging it, and he's not at the earth level. He's aware of what's happening. He knows that this lady isn't his twin. He's like, I'm not drawn to this lady. I don't feel anything. I've never dreamed of her, and I've never felt inclined to her. She doesn't seem like a nice energy to me. Twin flames are automatically magnetized to each other, guys. Even if there is a karmic, even if there is a situation like that weird triangle, twin flames are going to know they're twin flames when they're right around each other's energy, because it's like a force of nature. And, okay. So, yeah. Now I'm going to go into a little bit about who I am, like my childhood and stuff. It's a lot of heavy stuff, guys. I was molested at 5, taken away from my family at 7 because of neglection, no water, no electricity. I went to school. I was often bullied because I smelled all the time. I had lice in my hair. I had accidents, and I went to school and I smelled really bad. And so I went to CP. I got taken away from my parents, and their rights were terminated. I went through further abuse and neglection in the system. They had me on drugs, for psychotropic drugs, for PTSD, bipolar, depression, and anxiety. I was diagnosed at 7 years old with all 4. And then they were drugging me. And then I went through severe abuse in the system, and I was often abused by my foster parents, mistreated, and every time I would lash out, I would get in trouble. I often tried to commit suicide. I had suicidal ideations. I was trying to get away from I tried to run away from placements. They did some really heavy shit to me, some really dark things, and I know it's because some dark forces are in the system, in the government, and they are trying to dissipate me before I could even step into my power. And I went through various cycles of dark night of the soul in such a short time period. I literally, 7 years old all the way till I was 18. Back to back to back to back to back. Dark night of soul, dark night of soul, dark night of soul. Like, literally. So, like, I had literally an expansion compressed into ages 5 all the way to 24. I had all these experiences that were very hard on me, but have shaped me and have opened me. I had a near-death experience when it was 2013 when I tried to kill myself. I nearly died. I was in ICU, and I had an out-of-body experience and everything, and I remember seeing Yeshua, his body. I saw his golden body and his crown. He had this crown that was glowing with this light, and then there was all these beings surrounding me, or he was a centerpiece, and then they were like this around my body, like my body's right here, right? And they were chanting light language around me. At the time, I didn't know what light language was, but I knew I somehow channeled that was light language. And I've always, since I was a little girl, I was able to see angels, talk to them. I was able to see dead animals, and I was able to talk to fairies and spirits, and I had a close connection to Yeshua. I often felt like I was his daughter. When I was going through abuse in the system, he would always come to me to comfort me because I was all by myself. I had no guardians. Nobody tried to comfort me when I was going through abuse. I literally was suffering. I was suffering and distraught, and nobody would help me. Nobody was there for me. Like, they would literally that's how they treated me. They would lock me in an isolation room. There was a time they stripped me butt naked, and they locked me in there for hours. And I was just crying and crying till my temples and my eyes were hurting and swollen. That's how hard I cried. And then I would have these moments where I would feel Yeshua come there and comfort me. I would often feel like he was there holding me through that, and then I would feel really warm and then calm down, and then I would fall asleep. And then there was times where I was in the mental hospital and I was crying because I was so alone. I felt so alone. You know, I didn't have parents, didn't have family, and they put me in these hospitals because they said I needed treatment. The problem was I was getting mistreated, and nobody was listening to me. And I tried to commit suicide to get away from it all, and everybody brought that as a mental illness. And then they just well, she needs her meds changed. How many times they changed my meds? Like almost every 3 months. They had me on, you name it. I was on lithium, Depakote. I had severe depression. They literally had me on so many pills that I was zoning off in space and drooling over myself. That's how many pills they had me on that young. And I tried to hang myself several times. I self-harmed. You know, I felt worthless. I felt like nobody loved me. I've never actually felt loved in my life, honestly. And the only love that I felt was from God and from Yeshua. And then there were times where I didn't even let myself feel love. Like, I would wall off on people. I would say to myself, I love to read, I love to draw, and that's often what I did for coping mechanisms. I loved animals because they were therapeutic for me. And then there were some foster placements where who started complaining that I read too many books, and then they had my books taken away. You name it. They did some really cruel shit just to be spiteful towards me. You know, I went through severe trauma. And I want to say majority of my trauma came from the system, not from my biological family. I was molested at 5. And then I didn't want to go to the bathroom. I kept peeing.